Let me see. Can you hear me now? Eric and Maya, can you guys hear me perchance?
Yeah, we can hear I can hear you now.
Okay, great. And Maya? All right. I just
Hi.
had, hi, how are you? I was needing to turn on my microphone that was off while I was waiting. So, no, so Sue was asking, Sue's here in person, and I was explaining that for the people who come in on Zoom, I asked them to stagger. So people who come right now are people who don't have any Photoshop with me, haven't taken class. I need to show them some stuff. Then the rest show up a little bit later. So that's why only a few are coming in at this point. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way because I was sitting there, but it's covering you completely and it feels kind of strange. All right. So right now I have only one person in class. I'm not expecting many people in class, but I'm going to join a little bit later so you guys can see each other. But if it's only one person or two or three, we might even just set up another Zoom on another computer. I'm trying to think. But first, let me deal with everyone who's here. And because we just set it up with Sue already here. So let me, hi. So I'm Deanna. Nice to meet you. I don't think I know either one of you, right? I don't think you've been in any of my classes before.
No, this is my first time.
All right. And Maya, you too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just asking because I can't see you. Sometimes names are more or less familiar to me, but other times they're not. Okay. So we're not going to start the class until more people are here. So right now it's all about Zoom sharing and how we do things. I'm assuming, have you guys, when I say I'm assuming, there are times when people have taken Zoom classes that are more like watch on Zoom or listen on Zoom. But have you had to do things where you share your own screen to see the work that you're doing? Do you know how to share your screens?
Uh, yeah, I've done it before.
You've shared your
Yeah, I
screen,
know how
Maya?
to share my screen, yeah.
You know how to share your screens. Okay, great. Because at some point when I'm doing stuff and it's like, okay, this isn't working for me, and you tell me, you know, one sentence, and if it still isn't working the way I tell you to do it, then the easiest thing is always to just share, which is just like dum, dum, a second. Now, the first time you ever share, there's all these permissions to change. So if you have never shared, we need to go through that. But if you've shared before, then all you do is share, share, boom, we're seeing it. I see it. I tell you, oh, that's on. Oh, okay, that's on. You turn it off, and then off we go and we continue. Does that make sense? So we do a shared screen a lot. Um, Anyway, so as long as you both know how to share your screens, as people come in, I need to keep confirming that. The other thing that I do in class all the time is have people keep up by giving me what I call a yes or a no. So do you guys see where the reaction tools are? The little heart on the toolbar? If
Yeah.
you see that,
Hmm.
somewhere at the top, there's cute little, rockets and balloons and bubbles and things like that, which are fun and they're cute, but they don't necessarily stay. See, those rockets are gone. So the
Hmm.
ones I need you to use are way midway down. There's a green check mark for yes. If you see it, can you please give me a yes? All right, now the thumbs up that you're giving me, Maya, will disappear in like 2 seconds. Perfect. But the yes that you just gave me, that one's going to stay, okay? So when I need you to give me a yes, it's the green one. When I want you to give me a no, it's the one right next to it, the red X. So give me a no. Okay, perfect. And then when you click on them twice, I think Maya, you first switched to no, and then you clicked again, and then it turns off. So my request is whenever I've got the whole group and I'm saying, okay, the way I use this is, okay, I just demo something, I'll show something, and then I'll go, okay, if it's working for you, you do it, right? I demo it, you do it. If it's all good and it's working for you, give me a yes. And if it's not working for you, give me a no. And then I'll have like yeses everywhere, and then I'll have a few no's. And then I'll go, okay, Maya, you said no. How can I help you? What's not working? Da, da, da. So then I'll help, for example, Maya, who said no. Does that make sense? But you need to keep the yeses on so that when I look at the group after I'm done helping the one person, I'll go, okay, and now let's see, Eric, you also said no, how can I help you? And so on and so forth. So everyone, at some point I'll see green everywhere, and then I move on to the next point. Does that make sense? So great. And I saw that when I said, did that make sense? You said yes immediately, Eric, you're good. That's exactly the way to go. And at some point there are going to be yeses and nos and ups and downs, and then I'll just clear all the feedback from everyone, and then we're back at 0 and all. So other way I use it is to say things like, okay, if you're on a Mac, give me a yes. If you're on a Windows, give me a no. So for example, Maya and Eric, can you guys tell me yes if you're on a Mac, or no if you're on a Windows? There you go, perfect. So that, and Maya, keep it though. It's another time they turned it off. You keep the no on, okay? Especially if I'm still talking about it and other people haven't turned it on or whatever. I just need to wait until there's a yes or no from everyone. So then what'll happen is when I have other people here, someone's not going to be answering. And if someone's not answering, I'll be like, Mark, hello, Mark, is that a yes or a no? And they're like, oh yeah, it's a no. It's like, well, then answer. Like, because if you don't answer yes or no, I will call your name and ask you, is that a yes or a no? Because I need to know the answer to move on or something like that, right? So the best way to keep me off your back is to answer yes or no, so that I can move on, okay? Now, when you have so when I'm done with those kind of things, like right now, I already know that there's one of each kind. The next question is going to be, do you own Photoshop on your computer, or are you going to be using VDI? So if you own Photoshop, it's a yes, and both of you are yeses. Okay, so do you need to use VDI is not even an issue because it's only 2 of you guys. So there you go. Oh, well, that's going to be quick then. What I mean about it is when I have people to help on VDI, that's when this whole first part slows down. I don't have the rest of the people showing up till 6 because I tend to have a lot of people who need support for that. But we might not need many people who need support for that. Okay. The next thing that I will go, okay, so if you have so I'm talking, explaining things, and if it's something I demoed and it didn't work, then the yes and no suffices, because then I'll catch you up and say, okay, how can I help you, person who said no? But sometimes you have a question. I'm talking about something and you just have a question because you have a question, because people have questions. That's why you're in class. So then the right way to ask that would be to raise your hand. And again, from the same place, there's a hand that you can raise. Go ahead and raise your hands, you guys. And the moment you raise your hands, the first person who raises their hand goes top left. So Maya, did you find the raised hands? Can you please raise your hand? And then the second person, and so on and so forth. So then when I'm done with a subject or finish my sentence, or sometimes I need to round something up, then I'll go, okay, Eric, what's your question, right? So now, what kind of questions do I answer or not answer? Well, I'll answer almost everything, especially if it's on something I'm saying. But say that I'm explaining something, saying such and such and such happens over here, click on this, click on that. If you have a question that you didn't understand what I said, like, where should I click? That you just speak up. You know what I mean? Just like, can you say that again? Or can you repeat that again? Just speak up, because if you raise your hand like this, I might not get to your hand immediately because I'm expecting, well, what about if in this circumstance that happens, like a question about the subject, but it isn't necessarily about that thing that we're doing right now. If there's something that we're doing right now that's not working for you, just speak up and say, excuse me, what if, you know what I mean? And I'll be constantly saying things like, okay, if this worked, say yes or no. So you'll have a chance always to give me feedback as whether you're catching up. But if at some point I haven't asked and what I'm showing isn't working for you, don't raise your hand and wait 5 minutes while I'm on another subject to speak up. Now, if it's a question that is fine to wait for another 5 minutes, then definitely leave your hand up, and then I'll go, okay, Eric, ready, what's your question? And we'll go into that. But for things that are truly in the moment type of questions, just go ahead and ask me. Does that make sense, you guys? Then when you're done with the question, say that I just dealt with Eric's question. I can lower your hand, or you can lower your hand, whichever way. But sometimes we both forget and we move on. And then next thing I know, I see Maya's hand is still up and I just answered your question, but you might have another question. So I'll always say, is that an old hand, or it's the same question, or, or we just forgot to lower it, or is it a new question? And sometimes it's one, or sometimes you just have a new question. Okay. Now I do encourage questions. So it's great to ask questions all the time. And in fact, my request is that you don't fall behind because you don't want to ask. If you have a question, just ask immediately, especially when I say, okay, we did this, we did that. If it worked for you, say yes or no. don't say yes if it didn't work, because then I'll move on, and then people stay behind, and then they can't catch up, and then it's just much harder to catch someone up 10 steps behind than to catch someone up who's only 1 step behind. Does that make sense? Now, I have just finished a class with 35 people, and I'm heading into this class, which at this point has very few people, like literally, that I don't know. That will be a big group, which for better or for worse means that that it'll be much easier to just speak up and ask questions, because then we don't have 35 people that we're handling. I'm expecting there's 3 students who will be taking the class, but today can't take it of all things. One has surgery, one is teaching, and one has something else, so they'll be popping in and out. So I'm looking at the roster, and I'm expecting maybe 4 more. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we're going to see how many show up this week and next, this and Wednesday, to make sure that we can keep the class going, because three people who signed up now said that this interrupts anyway. So I don't know what's going to happen. For now, class is running. They're letting it run. We'll see. So we'll just enjoy it. They rarely cancel it once it's started, but I've never had such few amounts of people. So we'll see. All right. Meanwhile, Monday, Wednesday for sure, we should be here. And then if there's anything happening, I'll let you know. Either, I don't know. We'll see. All right. So here's the deal. It's 5:30. What was the second time I told people? 5:30, right? Because no one's. I was expecting to be there 5:15 like you were, or pretty much the rest will come in at 6, because those who are coming are all people that I know. Now, Eric, can I see Maya Johnson? Yeah, there's 2 other people that I don't know at all. And one is supposed to be an in-person, and she's not here. The other one's in surgery. So I think there's only 2 people that I don't know. And so I don't know if they'll show up or not. We'll find out. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the roster for a second there to see how that worked. All right. Next thing. Both of you, Maya and Eric, said that you have Photoshop. Sue, who is here in person, she has Photoshop at home as well, even though she's here in person. Do you have Bridge or have you downloaded it? So give me a yes if you've got Bridge set up and running. Okay, Maya. So while we're talking, can you go and get Bridge to download it? Because we're going to be using Bridge quite a bit. Do you know how to do that? To go into the Creative Cloud to get the apps? You do know how to do that? Okay, great. So go and download Bridge. All right, so I'm going to explain now why and what and how come Bridge and all that in a minute. But while you are doing that, a few more technical things, which are before we actually embark on other like real questions. Let me keep this answer here. And what's your experience with Photoshop, if any? So there's only 2 of you guys. I know Sue, so I don't need to ask her. But Maya and Eric, I don't know you guys. So oh, here comes Maria. Yay, one more of the people that I didn't know. Cool. Oh. Hi, Maria. Maria, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself to speak, because you're muted? So if you're speaking, I can't hear you. Maria? You're muted. So if you're trying to say something, I can't hear you. And since I can't see you, I don't see if you're speaking. So could you please unmute yourself? Oh, it's not letting you unmute. Okay. So guys, what Maria is doing is she's answering on the chat, which I was about to say. I want everyone to use the chat to begin when you arrive. Oh, hi, there you are. I can see you. So do you see the mute button and it's not letting you unmute, or do you not see the mute button?
There it is. I see. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Well, you're very, you're, you're unmuted and, now on the chat, guys, where Maria wrote, I'm gonna go ahead and say, hi there. And could everyone please go and put in a little greeting or something in the chat? That should be like one of the first things we do as soon as we sign in. Everyone head over to the chat and give a little greeting, just so that I have you guys there. It's kind of like attendance based, and I know that you're available. And also to do like what Maria did, which is, hey, I can't unmute myself. So she wrote in the chat, right? So if for any reason I'm calling on you and nothing's happening, I'm gonna head to the chat to see if maybe you're writing to me, okay? But the chat is the last thing that I check. The first thing I'll check is for hands up, or if you're muted or unmuted, or of course, if your video is on, then I'll watch you on a video. I'm gonna connect with my other computer in a minute so you guys can see the classroom. So Sue can be part of this too, because you don't see her, but I'm expecting only 1 to 2 people max in the room. And in fact, Eric Molina, you're in the CRN for in person. So you're one of the few I would have expected in the classroom, but you're in person, which is fine to do. But I'm noticing that of the 3 people that I have that are going to be in person, 1 is on, but online. So Sue, you're probably, it's probably going to be us. Okay. I just came from a class where I had about 10 people here and 15 people online, and that's more typical. But every time I teach Photoshop this way, the idea is a lot of people say, when are you going to teach it in person? I say, I'll teach it in person this time, and then they don't come. Okay, we could all be at home doing this on Zoom. But I'm glad that Sue, you're here. But if someday you're feeling like you don't want to come, you're sick or something, let me know. In part because if you are the only person, then we both stay home and I teach from Zoom from home. But if there's other people, of course I'll come again. But if no one's here, what's the point, right? I'll do the same class from home, which is all my other Photoshop classes are only on Zoom. This is the one where we're opening the lab. So Maria, hi, welcome. You came a little bit later, so I'm going to assume that it's because you already have Photoshop installed, do you, or VDI?
I don't have any of it installed.
Okay.
I just came from work. That's why.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine then. Oh, there you go. That's or plan B. I forgot to say, or you came from work. So
Yeah.
how about VDI? Have you tried to access Photoshop through VDI?
I have not. I haven't.
Okay. So
So.
then I'm going to give you a hand with that. What kind of computer do you have? Mac or PC?
PC.
Okay. Do you know your username and password, school pipeline username and password?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if you set up 2-factor authentication on pipeline?
I don't think so.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is not to make anyone right or wrong, but because that gauging how much time it's going to take me to help you get set up. And during that time, at some point, I'm just going to ask everyone to not disconnect, keep yourself
Yeah.
connected, but go and do something for a few minutes while I help Maria. Because this is more like what I was expecting, but looks like Maya and Eric are all set up. So I was going to
Okay.
kind of zoom on to the class, but good thing that I haven't yet. A couple more questions that before I let everyone space out for a few minutes while I help Maria. First of all, if you want to pay attention to what we're going to do with Maria, it's going to help because then you'll know how to use VDI, which will help you use any other application that the school has that you might not have. That's just in case you're interested in seeing how to use VDI. But other than that, if you have the applications, then I'm going to have you guys take a break and I don't know yet. Check in 10 minutes. Okay, so it's 5:38. Can you check in again at 5:48 at 5:50? Okay, so just walk the dog, whatever you need to do, but you got 10 minutes to come back and check in. And if we're done, we're done. And if we're not, we'll take another 5. Okay, that's good. All right. So Maria.
Okay. Yeah.
First of all, do you know how to share your screen?
Yeah, let me.
Okay, if you do, then go ahead and do it.
Okay, let me see.
Meanwhile, I'm going to, well, if you need help, just let me know. If you haven't shared in a while or whatever, just let me know. I'm going to, for a second, connect here before I help you, because I'm going to connect with my other computer so we can have another, you know what, another
Are you able to see my screen?
No, yes,
Okay.
yes, give me 1 second. I'm connecting.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm connecting with my other computer and I need to do that before I start. So give me 1 sec. Um, I'll finish it later. I'm trying to find for today's Hyflex. There it is. Okay, because I had the wrong link in this computer the other day. I just wanted to. Oh, I didn't send the link today. That's a mistake. Told you guys what time to sign in, but I didn't add the link again. That's the problem. It's not good. Okay, so give me a second, Maria, because I'm just noticing that the email I sent today, I didn't
Yeah.
send the link. And that's weird. I sent it on the email from a couple of days ago, but not on today's link. So let me add that to today's. I'm going to do it from this computer because I have the roster right here. So give me 1 sec. That was a mistake on my part to not have not have added the link. So let me thanks for your patience. Sending me an email out. Okay. Zoom link. This I sent everyone else a way to help you, and I'm doing this. I apologize, but
No, it's okay.
when I went to find it, I discovered, oh, that's not good. People won't know how to get in here. And so I'm gonna just send it. Okay. There. I just not much to the email, just the link. That's good. Okay. In case someone wasn't able to join us because they were missing the link. Some people delete the old email, you know. All right, cool. All right, so now I'm with you. All right, I'm all yours now. I just had to have that little break. Okay, so first of all, my one concern that I have is that your VDI is going to use up a lot of power from your internet, whatever, and you have a ton of open tabs, including
do, yeah.
I see like
Okay.
5 of them that are all City College, like in the middle. So
Oh.
if you can, and if you don't lose anything very important, it would be a good idea to close a
To
lot of
close
tabs.
them, let me see. I don't know.
You can click on them and some of them might be really important to you and you don't want to do that. That's fine. But if not, go ahead and close a bunch of them because it would be really
No, I always had a habit of having so many
Hmm.
open. I don't know.
Okay,
So yeah.
good. So now let's go to my.sbcc.edu.
SBCC.edu,
My
SBCC. Okay.
my.sbcc.edu.
My.sbcc.
And there you go. You have it. So now you hit return or enter. Cool. Now enter your
Okay,
username and
see.
password. Go ahead and log in. Okay. So now we're gonna have to do, can you scroll down a little bit? So I can see.
So is it better if I just get Photoshop for next time?
Well, it's, I mean, one option is that you get it if you want to pay for it, but for today, you're gonna need to get it this way, so.
Okay,
Um,
all the way down?
no, hold on, I'm looking to see where to get your FA, because we need to set you up with two-factor authentication. I'm trying to figure out where we set you up with two-factor authentication. I'm trying to remember. Class, student resources, where did we do the two-factor authentication? I had a link. Let me, student tools, student resources menu. Okay, I'm gonna have to search for it. Let me see, two-factor. There's somewhere. Okay, so here, I'm gonna put a link in the chat. Can you go click on the link that I just put in the chat?
Okay, let me see. Wait, where is
Do
the
you see
link?
in the chat that I typed in a link?
I don't, let me see.
Let me
Yeah,
there
there
you
I
go. Click on
see.
that link.
Okay, I see.
There we go. So now you'll have to, no.
Take me back in there.
So try again, say login. And there you go. All right. So let's head down. Do you have your phone with you all the time? Pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay. So go down until it says registered phones, which is kind of
mobile, the
no,
mobile
two up, registered phones. Two up,
register
one up.
phones.
Yeah,
Okay.
click on that one. Cool. Add new phone and put in your phone number.
Wait, 310,
Actually, hold on. Let me pause. Yay. Good. I recorded again. All right. Cool. So now let's go ahead and let's go back. Go ahead and say plus go back to no, we don't need to go. Now go up to the top,
Oh, up to the
Wait.
top. Okay.
just where it says auth SVCC, like to the place where you and write VM view.
Sorry, what?
VM view.
Like
VM view.
wait, hold on.
Hold on, I'm gonna write it in the
Chat. Okay.
chat. So give me a second. VM view. I'm putting it in the chat. There we go. vmview.sbcc.edu.
Okay. Let's see what that take more.
VM like vision and mother and view like I can view you. So VM view, there we go. Now
Okay.
this on the right side, you see NISA Horizon web client. Click on
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Click on that. Okay.
Okay. And now it's going to ask you, it's sending you a two-factor code.
Code.
So now go to your phone and get that
Okay.
code. And I'm doing it parallel on my side.
731.
8,
Okay.
9, 6, 1, 4, 5. So I'm doing it on my other computer. Okay, great. Now, of these choices, even though you see Photoshop down there and other stuff, don't get tempted. That's not where it goes. Go of the
Okay.
3 top desktops, the middle one that says student desktop. That's the only one that counts. Go to student desktop.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to wait it out for a little bit. Go ahead and say, okay, yep, agree with all those settings. Say, yep, yep, yep. Manage Windows, yep. Allow while visiting the site. Say, yep. A lot of yeses. Allow, allow, allow. Okay. And now it's going to take about 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay.
What's that noise? From inside this room? Okay, so it's about to happen. We have a weird whistling going on.
Oh,
There, it stopped. That was bizarre.
oh,
Okay,
okay,
here we go. We are in VDI. So now you're in a Windows computer. Okay, but it's
okay,
not your Windows computer. It's the school VDI Windows computer. So now,
okay.
if you go down to the Windows icon, the bottom left where you see the search, that Windows icon, click on that
Yeah,
icon next
this,
to it.
okay.
Click on that. And it up at the top, go ahead and search for Photoshop.
Okay. Photoshop.
There it is. Now click on
Okay.
that. Now, before we forget, just do a right click on that Adobe Photoshop 2025 and then just pin to start or pin to taskbar. In fact, that would be a good one. Pick to taskbar.
Okay.
Pin to start would be a good one too. Pin to both. Pin to start, pin to taskbar, so it just is there. And then go ahead
And then to start. Okay.
go ahead and click on it for it to start opening up. So now click on Adobe 2025. And now, while that one's opening, go back to the same icon and let's write bridge. So we're going to open that one at the same time.
Okay.
So
And type,
this
let me
bridge as
see.
well.
What do I need to type?
Bridge, the word bridge, like
BRI.
BRIDGE. And it'll say Adobe Bridge. There we go. And let's do the
Okay.
same thing. Let's pin to start and pin to taskbar. That way they are ready to go. And then click on Adobe Bridge. 2025.
YouTube taskbar.
Cool. And
Okay.
cool. So go ahead and then click on Adobe Bridge for it to start running. Okay. Now that's going to be happening in the background. Now, you see how underneath that you can see something that says sign in?
Yeah.
Go ahead and now you need, oh, here comes Colette. Let me let Colette in. So now I think it let you in without needing, go to photo, see in the taskbar now. Do you see how you're seeing Photoshop and Bridge in there?
Yeah.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and click on the PS for Photoshop to see if perchance the sign in is there. There we go. It'll say something like sign in. There we go. So here you need your school email address. So your school username.
Okay, let me see.
So username, and then when you're done with your username, add pipeline.sbcc.edu. Oh,
Okay.
Google Drive is in the way. So move it out of the way for a second. We do want that, but yeah. At pipeline.
Pipeline.
Hi, Colette.
Pipeline. Is that a dot?
.sbcc.edu.
sbcc.edu.
Yeah. Continue.
Continue.
So thank you guys who are still waiting or who came in, checked in. I'm almost done with helping Maria get connected.
It's not letting me do it, or yeah.
Nope.
MG.
Again, MG Hale at pipeline is the whole thing.
Pipeline.
And this is one time only. After that, you'll be signed in and it'll never ask you again.
Okay.
Say next. Okay.
Okay.
Say continue. And you're set. Okay. Now,
Okay.
down at the same place where I had helped you before, down here where I'm pointing, you see the Google Drive icon. Let me click all my pink stuff out of the way. So down here at the bottom, next to in the taskbar, that little icon is the Google icon. Can you click on that one? Pop up the Google Drive.
Wait, where? Here?
No, I'm making a line down here in your taskbar.
Oh, okay.
Your taskbar, click on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what it says. Does it say that you need to sign? Welcome to Google Drive. So click on that to make it open up big.
Click on.
Click on it one time. Yeah, click. And then say how it says welcome to Google Drive up here now. Right. So go ahead and say
Yeah.
get started.
And then get started?
Click on get started. And now sign in again. Okay, so everything we did up until now, you only have
Yeah.
to do once, but this Google Drive sign in, you're gonna have to do each time you open up BDI. Okay,
Okay,
and then the whole pipeline.sbcc.edu, and then say next. Mine is still signing in. Okay. All right, now go ahead and say sign in, Autodesk is turning on.
again,
Okay, this Autodesk is surprising me. It wasn't there before, yeah. Why is it? Yeah, go ahead and,
well,
but I've never been asked to sign in to Autodesk, that's new. Since I was looking at you, I didn't do it on mine, so it's gonna let me do it again. And then that's just your pipeline password. Stay signed in, yeah. Sign in,
ah. Okay, let me see.
uh-oh.
Hold on, let me see.
Okay, I don't know why Autodesk, what does it have to do with any of this? I'm
Why?
not sure that we need that, so let me,
I just wanna make sure that I did it, yeah.
you know what, I'm not sure that we need the Autodesk version, but whatever.
I don't know why it's not.
Yeah, just, you know
Okay,
what,
there.
forget that one. Go ahead and, especially if that was the wrong password, go ahead and say not now up here where it's trying to save your password. Say not now. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Give me a second. I'm still helping. Let's do this. Maria, forget this one. Go back here into the Google accounts, which is the only one I really care about. I don't think you need
Okay,
that one.
but it's asking me to
Sign
sign in?
there. Yeah, sign into that one.
Okay,
I'll be with everyone in a minute. Thanks for showing up, everyone. You've signed into Google Drive. I think that's more than
Yeah.
good enough. So now you can close this window and hold on.
I can close
Okay,
this
say
window?
next. No, not the say next.
Next, okay,
And then next one more time, and we're good. Okay, so yeah, you can close it now. I just want to make sure that it didn't leave you. Oh, no. Choose folders to sync to your computer. Go ahead and, why is it asking that? Go ahead and click on all these.
oh, no, the three of them, okay,
Yeah. It should, and then say next.
and then next. And then, okay,
And
got
say
it.
got it. And I think that should be it. I think that should be it.
So I need to, I guess,
And,
whatever.
oh, those two as well, I guess. And then say next, and then open drive. All right, cool. Now let's minimize this for now. And you're set.
Okay,
And then just minimize this window. We want it out of the way. You don't want to close it, but you want to minimize it up here where I'm putting pink on that little line. Yeah, just click on there and then close this one. You can close this window that's up there. I have so much pink now that it's kind of hard to tell where.
good.
Let
Yeah,
me
I'm
clear
trying
all my
to-
pink. Okay, so this window here, yep, and ready to go. And then click on this.
Okay,
one too.
close it, okay,
Yeah, that little one. All right, and there you go. You're ready to go. Okay.
okay,
perfect. Okay, so for now, hang in there. I'm going to stop your share. You're 100% ready to go. And then
okay,
hi to everyone else. All right,
okay, thank you.
hi. Okay, let me see. Maya is gone. I don't know where Maya is, but Eric is still here. Hi, Mike. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Samuel. Looks like you know someone who's here in class. But she wasn't calling you Samuel. She was calling you another name. Sam. Uh,
Yeah,
Not yet.
yeah, we used to work together.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. So but you don't see her and yet you recognize her voice. So that's cool. I'm about to connect to this class. On my other computer. Give me a second. And then I will be all good to join. Now you might notice today I had another Hyflex class with a bunch of people here in the room, but today I just joined us with a computer that's pointing towards Sue. Sue is on her own. So if anyone ever wants to come here and join us in class, you're welcome to join us. Because it's just us. Okay, so now you see me on this one, and then you see Sue down there. Say hi. Go ahead, that's Sue. She can see you guys. All right. So I don't know where Maya went, but okay. Hopefully she'll pop in again. And we're ready to go. All right. So the process that I was just doing was to set up when you guys joined, I was in the middle of setting up Maria to use VDI, to use Photoshop. But Maria, your question was, well, was good, where you said, do we need to, hold on. I'm answering the same questions that she answered, but I was helping her, so I didn't answer. There we go. I was just needing to, there we go. I was just trying to get myself caught up because she's on VDI. All right, because I need to have the same thing set up in this computer. All right, so as you can see, this brand new state-of-the-art classroom. I'm trying to tempt you all to come in and join in me in person, although it's hard to beat being able to have dinner on your own and during the class like Rebecca's doing, right? But anyway, this is the room that we waited for 2 years for them to remodel, for us to finally have it to be able to teach in person. But for those of you who are home, I totally get it. I personally think that if you can work on your own computers, why not? But if you're having any issues, like maybe VDI, or if your computers can't handle Photoshop or things like that, know that we have a whole room here waiting for you to come and use this stuff. Now, what's that?
Are they all Macs?
These are all Macs, but once you're in Photoshop or Illustrator, it doesn't
Oh my
matter
gosh.
because
I'm afraid of Macs.
they're identical. Well, there you go. Challenge your fears, or right, conquer your fears. The other thing I do here is teach people how to use their Mac. So if you were to come, I would totally support you. But the whole point is, that's why we use Bridge. Okay. So now Maria and Erica Maria and Eric are new to today's class. The rest of you guys have been in my Photoshop classes before, so you know it. But let me explain what Bridge is and why I made you download Bridge. And I asked Maya to go and download it, and maybe that's why she left the class and is downloading and is coming back in. I don't know. But one thing is, say that I said something about what she needed and that's why she left. Remember, don't just leave the class. Ask me, because can you do something without something else? Do you need to download Bridge? Why would you need to download it? That kind of stuff. Just ask me. Don't ever just leave because you assume that's the only way. There's so many ways to do all these things, and I can always support you in one way or another to make it happen. But if you want to buy it, and I'm going to go ahead and, oh, here we go. Is that Ed? Is that you, Ed? Ed Adams? Yes. Okay, let me change your name. So that's another thing I haven't had to say to everyone, because you've been, there we go. You've been on with your first and last names already. But if you ever come in and it says only like Colette, it says Colette's iPad, but she's also here as Colette Royer, so that's good. But like Ed said, Ed's iPhone, and at least it said Ed's iPhone, but sometimes people come on and it just says iPhone, and I don't know who it is. So for attendance purposes, I need to know who you are, okay? So in this case, I would have asked, someone is an iPhone, who are you? So that person would have had to say their name, and then I would change their name to their first and last name, but I saw his face and I know him. And so I just went ahead and changed his name. But if not, you need to make sure that you have your first and last name on the board, so to say, so that attendance can be given to the right person. There might be some other Ed, or there might seem, a different Maria. That's more typical. I have 3 Marias alone in my family. Anyway, so Maria was asking, is it better to buy the applications? And out of everyone who's here today, I believe everyone has their own applications, right? I don't think anyone else on this group today is in VDI. Okay, so what you're gonna do today is we're gonna work with VDI with you, Maria, and it has some drawbacks. For the most part, it's fine. Every now and then we'll find something that, well, it's not working because it's VDI. If it becomes something that you really want and you're interested in, then sure, of course you can buy it. In the email that I sent, I sent you the instructions of how to do it. It's $100. It's your choice. Well, there's another option for, what's the 6 month option? Is it $50 and 100? Are those the two choices? For a year, it's $100 for $50 for half a year. So that said, you need a computer that's relatively newish and strong. So if you don't have a relatively new and newish computer, you guys are better off using the school's computer until you can upgrade to a better computer, because Photoshop is really taking up a lot of processing power. And if you have an older computer, or you're going to borrow someone's secondhand old computer, it's just not worth spending that money on buying it, because it just isn't going to work too well. Does that make sense? So just depending on that, whether that's why it wasn't a quick answer to say, sure, yeah, go buy it, because I don't know what computer you're working on and what circumstances are. Many of you guys are in my Friday class. And in my Friday class, since there was a lot of people who were pretty advanced in Photoshop, I've been spending a lot of time having some real fun doing some pretty advanced things in that class. And in part also using things that use a lot of processing power, some of the new AI tools. You might know that I'm not someone who likes to just out of the blue put in something that's not even mine in a photograph. But there are tools that are AI powered, AI for artificial intelligence, that aren't to make fake things, but are to just reset, like go ahead and take all the little dirty dust spots from my lens out of the picture. You're not inventing, a lion that wasn't there, but you're using a tool that needs to use AI in order to get rid of all those dust spots. And that is perfectly valid as far as I'm concerned. But those tools that use AI use even more power off of your computer. Does that make sense? So that's why more and more Photoshop is needing some more advanced computers, strong computer graphics and stuff like that for these tools that are perfectly valid tools, but that take some time to make them work. So now there's many ways to use Photoshop and many reasons to use Photoshop, but for the most part, the only people I don't know at all are Eric and Maria. Maya's still not here. The rest of you guys I know from one class or another, but I actually don't know a ton about what or why some of you are in class. And some of you might have a business like Colette. Some of you might have your own business that you're doing. Some of you might be working for someone. Some of you just take your trip photographs that you might make them better. And some of you are fine art photographers that put them on the wall or sell them. So I'd like to have maybe a little short little recount as to why you're here and what you use Photoshop for. And since we have one wonderful Sue in the classroom, I'm gonna let Sue go first, and then everyone else come in next. So Sue, let me stand by you so everyone can hear you well. Okay.
Just personal photographs, changing eyeballs, things
Mhm.
like that,
Okay.
cropping, color balancing.
Okay, great. And then just out of curiosity, what do you do with your photos after? Do you print them? Do you send them to people? Do you?
Send them to people. I
make
have
books?
printed them on metal. It's
Oh,
uh,
cool.
a really neat thing to do,
Yeah.
but just mainly keep them.
Okay.
I do a lot of genealogy stuff, and I put a lot of people files onto my tree.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, well, there you go. That's one perfectly awesome use for Photoshop. In fact, last class we worked a bit on black and white photos and how to do some work with them. But I have some more black and white photos on the crop of photos for this class that I was going to do a few other things that we didn't do the other day. So that's cool. And when I say black and white, genealogy usually is black and white. But then again, at this point, there's so many grandchildren and all that kind of stuff that are part of it. But the old photos are all black and white. All right, anyone else wants to go and tell me why they are interested in working on Photoshop? What do you do with your photos? Don't make me call you.
I really don't know much about Photoshop. My kids do it for me, but I want to learn how to do it myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
for personal photos?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Also, I feel like I could also use it for like brochures and stuff for work and stuff like that. So whatever I can learn. I always like learning new things.
Exactly. That's perfect. More
Yeah.
and more people who take any job, doesn't matter what job you have. At this point, just about every job, they're like, "Oh, can you make a little flyer for me, or can you update my web page, or things like that?" And you're like, "Well, I don't know. What do I do? Has nothing to do with that, and I'm supposed to make a photo look good." But yeah, it's just part of everything, and so yeah, learning is great, especially when you can stop depending on your kids, right? To do things for you. All right, anyone else? Mike, Ed, Colette, yeah.
Oh, like you said, I'm learning to use these for my photos for my website, and already they look so much better. Lot still for me to learn, and at the same time, I'm learning, how to really use the program, because I have some artistic interest eventually, and when I start to play with it, I'd love to just be able to make things. I don't know what, but yeah,
That's
just
great.
learning new stuff.
Well, yeah, Colette has a website that she sells products, and she's making the photos of her products that she sells look better. So, how things enter through the eyes, you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't smell it, you got to look at it, you better make it look really good. So that's great. Thanks for sharing that. And Mike, Rebecca.
I just have a bunch of personal photos that I've always been wanting to print, but never have had time to. And I'd like to go a little bit further than Lightroom does.
Oh, so you use Lightroom? Okay,
I do use Lightroom, yeah.
cool.
And I just take them and hang them around.
That's great. In fact, I was taking a course, attending a little course the other day, and it's amazing how much one of the classes I'm considering teaching now, Photoshop on phones and on iPads can do a lot, and Lightroom on the phones and iPads can do a lot. So I was beginning to wonder whether to do a little mini what to do with Lightroom and Photoshop on a phone. We'll see if we can set that one up. But on the fly, I didn't do it. I was so busy this summer. I did an amazing trip, seeing amazing things, doing incredible photos, and I just took photos, but I didn't process anything. I was just too tired at the end of the day to do that. But sometimes you're in a kind of vacation where you have time at the end of the day. You're like fiddling your fingers and your computer's at home, and there's a lot you can do on your handheld devices now with photos, and then you can make them better or change them or fix them at home. But it is a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be really helpful, because I know that I just learned a bunch of stuff with raw photos in iPhone, that if they're in the cloud and you download them to your computer, you don't get the raws. You have to do a special option to get the raw photos.
Lightning, you
And-
do get them if you download them with the Apple app. But it depends. Yeah, it depends on how.
Well, yeah, I'm on a PC, so I'm using iCloud to download them to the computer. And then I found out that I wasn't downloading the RAWs. They were giving me a JPEG with an E in it. And the other ones that weren't RAW were JPEG, or just JPG.
Yeah, which that
Uh,
definition doesn't matter too much, but the fact that you weren't getting the raw pictures. And for those of you who know what raw
Yeah.
means, we'll explore that. But when you take a raw photo, you want to process the raw photo. You don't want the JPEG version.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But that's also in how you download. You can download the RAWs, as I said. I don't know off the top of my head right now in your
Maybe if I used a Mac.
phone, but yeah. Do you have an Android or an Apple phone?
I have an Apple phone.
Okay, so you've got that cross-platform thing where your phone that you take the pictures on is Apple, and then when you download it.
All right.
So there's a
Mm.
few other things in the way. It's all possible to be done. But anyway,
Yeah.
right now we're gonna move on with
Diana,
knowing what people are interested in doing. Yes, Ed?
so rather than going to the cloud, if he's on an iPhone, what he should use is image capture and bring them down into a folder as raw. And they'll be DNGs. They won't be JPEG or anything like that. And at that point, he can actually put them into Lightroom, or he can put them into Photoshop, whatever he wants to do. That way he doesn't have to worry about it.
But image capture on the PC, because image capture is on a Mac, but is it also?
Oh, he's an
on a
iPhone, but he's
PC?
got a PC.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
that's
forget
why
what I
I'm
just
like,
said totally.
There's a cross-platform thing going on here that makes it slightly more complicated, but it's not, I mean, you have
Yeah,
to.
iCloud does allow you to drop down one box where it says special instructions, or I can't remember what it says right now, but then it will download the DNG.
Yeah,
But I thought all this time I was downloading the DNGs.
well, now you know. All right, good.
Surprise.
Let me see. Let me say hi to Moni, by the way, that I know that you're in and out because you're in the middle of stuff, but thank you so much for showing up. I do want to hear from everyone, but in particular, Eric, you're also very new to me. Everyone's new to each one, but at least to me. So can you tell me a bit more why you want to learn Photoshop?
Yeah, so I actually have used Photoshop, I would say about like 10 years ago. I used to do graphic design, but I haven't done it in a very long time. I've
Mhm.
used Lightroom a lot longer and I still use Lightroom right now. I
Okay.
do photography on the side. Part of the reason why I wanted to take this class is to kind of brush up on my skills on Photoshop and kind of
Mhm.
see what's changed. And because now that I have like a new computer and I have Photoshop on it, it is a lot different from like 10 years ago.
It is, and by the way, it is and it isn't, because there are some basics, like if you knew how to use Photoshop before, just about every one of the same things that you used to be able to do can be done with almost the same tools. They grandfather things in very much. But suddenly it's this plethora of like, oh my God, there's like exploded. There's so much more, right?
Yeah.
But the basics that you've been doing for, from the beginning of Photoshop, pretty much most of them are still there. And if you go up to the menu items, they have even the oldest ones. There's very little that's been actually taken away. But
Mhm.
yes, isn't it great to be able to use the new capabilities, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's wonderful. Well, I haven't introduced myself yet, and I know there's some other people who want to talk, but I'm a photographer and a graphic designer. So I work both on the design side of things with Photoshop and on the photography side of things. So yeah, wonderful. And again, if you're looking at it just for your photography, it's one set of tools and things. But if you're looking at it for design, there's so much more that Photoshop
Mhm.
has also. But even for those of you who are pure photographers, there's things that Lightroom can do and things that Lightroom can't do. And there's things that Photoshop can do and that Lightroom can do and vice versa, but they complement each other well. There's many photos that you just stick in Lightroom and that's all you need. But whenever you need something much more specific and detailed, then Photoshop is still where you need to go to get that stuff done, right? So, but the masking system right now that exists in Lightroom, which is, by the way, the masking system that exists in Camera Raw that you guys have been using with me with Photoshop, it's the same, is advancing at galloping speed. So what they're doing a lot with Photoshop is putting all these other, they're testing a lot of these things first in Photoshop and in Camera Raw, and when it's working, and they're putting it in Lightroom, right? So, they're both progressing kind of parallel and taking leaps forward in the last few years. Does anyone else want to give a little, Shamuel? I don't really think that we had a chance. The other class had a lot of people to talk about why you are taking Photoshop. I don't think I know that of you.
Well, I'm
Wanna
not
share?
an artist or not a photographer,
Mhm,
and I did edit some pictures and all for work years ago,
mhm.
but I decided this is more of a right brain thing for me.
Mm,
So I'm challenging myself. Um, and
I
I
like
do
that.
want to put a bunch of pictures I have at home from
Mhm,
childhood to now together,
mhm.
even for my mom, my dad, for everybody, and make like a
Wonderful.
collage of it.
That sounds great. In fact, there's some great, once you get, Patricia isn't here. He's in our Friday. Whenever you chat in with Patricia in our Friday class, She makes a lot of books, photo books of her family, and then she makes books for her each individual family member, and she does a lot of work. So she does a lot of work in Lightroom and in Photoshop, getting those photos ready. I think Moni, you said you made some too. Who else? Maybe Shelly. There's someone else in class who did a lot of that. But anyway, meaning you can make a collage, you can make calendars, you can make books. It's
Peggy-
wonderful. It's really
Peggy
cool.
did.
What's that?
Got it. Thank you.
I think it was Peggy. Peggy made.
Rebecca, it was Peggy who does them
Peggy.
too. Okay, Peggy and Patricia are the two people that I know who constantly are working on one book or another, right? And it's great. The last trip, I'm my husband has asked me for Christmas for years. Every Christmas, he wants me to put a book together of the different years of our kids growing up. What's that thing that they say in Spanish? We have
Cobbler's children have no shoes.
Cobbler's children have no shoes. Yes, thank you for saying it. I'm so bad at translating my thoughts, those sayings and stuff. So I'm glad you knew exactly where I was going. So it's on his list again for this Christmas. Poor guy. He keeps thinking it'll happen, but it will. I swear it'll happen one of these days.
Alright.
But anyway, I tend to work more.
I can't hear you.
I think you got muted. We don't hear you.
You go. So here's the thing. I have a microphone and a lapel mic and stuff like that, which is what we're hearing the sound from. And it's supposed to last all the hours of the class, but it keeps turning itself off, as you saw. I'm talking, you can't hear me. When you say you can't hear me, I pick it up, I turn it on again, and we continue. But don't let me just blah, blah, blah. Tell me, because I don't know that you're not hearing me. Nothing changes for me. So once you say what you say, I go and I turn it on again, and then we're good. All right. Anyone else want to share? Moni is
I'm just
doing
trying to keep my brain working.
working your kind of shamal, right? Keep your brain working, keep doing something special. All right.
If- For me, I think I'm better at Illustrator, and so I'm trying to get more proficient with the Photoshop. So
yeah, so Moni creates things from scratch, right? And so that's more Illustrator versus Photoshop. You can create, websites, you can create design, poster, you can do a lot in Photoshop too, but most of the times we're working with existing photos, modifying them, making them better, changing them to fit whatever product you need. She does a lot of stuff for her classes and for her for the school, for the San Marcos High School, and I don't know how many other places you do work with, but website, flyers, posters. She does a lot of work with all these tools that I'm teaching. Okay. And Ed, yep, you're flagging your hand.
So I've been using Photoshop since it came out originally. I moved away from it because it was very difficult in the beginning days. And it was destructive, which was just awful. But I have some 850,000 images that I am in the process of culling through to create a legacy set for my family because I'm 76. So I haven't been shooting much new stuff, but I use Photoshop right now for about 10% of my images because there's still things in Photoshop that Lightroom and other products can't do as well. Every day that changes. I mean, Adobe is putting more and more photography stuff into Lightroom, and really is telling the world. I just attended a Lightroom summit last week, and basically telling the world that, if you're a photographer, this is what you should be doing because we do everything that Photoshop can do. Not true, but that's the way they're.
The same summit, there were a lot of classes as why would you still need Photoshop? And if you check
Yes.
those, there's stuff that you still need Photoshop for. But
Yeah, it's an interesting world, but without a doubt, the things that happen in Camera Raw. I have my dog in my car, by the way. That's
Okay.
so if you're in the ocean, I'm down at Kalita Beach right at the moment. But anyway, it's a great product. But I learned many years ago, it is definitely a product that is use it or lose it. I will learn how to do something and not have to do it again for like 2 or 3 months and go, how did I do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which goes to Eric's comment where he used it a lot 10 years ago. And when he goes on now, it's like, okay, no matter that I'm saying that you can do it all as before, it's like, yeah, it presents quite differently, right? So, and then in particular, what Ed is mentioning, the last year, 2 years, 3 years, the changes have been like daily, okay, monthly, but truly constant updating of stuff and making things better. So they're really working on these programs on both Lightroom and Photoshop.
Well,
And,
lately it is like daily.
it really is. Sometimes it's daily. Like you'll have one version that was from today, and was it the other day I was trying to do something? Someone had the newest version, and I had updated a week ago, and mine wouldn't do it, and your guys would do it. Yeah, it's daily. Anyway, on
You should be
school,
involved with the beta programs.
yeah, it's I know it's crazy the stuff they're putting in there. So at school I have whatever they upgrade, and they don't upgrade daily. So now today I'm teaching from school. So sometimes you will have something that I don't have yet, and I let them know, hey guys, please upgrade. But this whatever they when they upgrade this lab, they upgrade all the labs in the school together. So they need to make sure that they have something that's got no glitches before they upgrade, because otherwise the whole school, all the different computer labs would crash. So teaching from here, I might not have always the very latest upgrade, but we'll find out. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to make sure, Maria, you're on VDI. Keep it alive every now and then. Go in and move an icon or something to keep it live, because if you don't use it for a while, it'll close up and then we have to re-sign in again. So like do something on it so it knows you're still there. Okay, so cool. Let's get going. Ed had told me he would only pop in for a little bit, so he's popped out. Let's start working, guys. First of all, we have some class files to download. For those of you who are in my Friday class, the set of Friday class files I left there because we're still working on it. On Friday, we still have a class, but I added some stuff. So if you guys, I need you to download the class files again and maybe just add them to the folder that you have, or create a new folder and call these maybe, the Hyflex ones. And then when we're done with the other class, you can delete the ones from Friday class. So let me show you how we're going to do this. And everyone has to do this, including Eric, except for Maria. Eric doesn't have any of the files. The rest of you have a modified version, and Maria has VDI. So on VDI, your files are given to you through VDI, okay, Maria? So you don't have to download them. The only reason you would download them is if you think you are going to buy the programs. If you are going to buy them, then go ahead and download them so that when you buy them, once you want to begin to use them, the files are in your computer. But on VDI, the files are there in VDI, okay? So if you think you're going to buy the program, totally up to you, then go ahead and follow the instructions and download them, but not through VDI, but through your computer. So not the browser that you're using for VDI, but on your actual computer. You would, because we're going to go to a browser to do this, okay? So I'm going to share my screen. And first of all, we're going to go ahead and open, I'm on a Mac here, so I'm going to be using Safari. Oh, I have it on a different screen. Hold on. I need to reshare that because I had it on a different computer. Here we go. So we're going to go to the class files. And so you're going to go to my.sbcc.edu and sign in, which mine was already signed in. So that's why I didn't have to sign in, but go ahead and log into my.sbcc.edu. And now we're going to be doing the whole yes and no to whether you're there with me. Okay, so again, Maria, just to know whether to check in with you. Do you think you're going to download them, or are you just going to wait because you're not going to buy it for now? Oh, you're muted. You're still muted. I can't hear you until you're muted. And I guess, by the way, don't forget everyone who just showed up, please remember to give me a little attendance thing on the chat. Give me a hi on the chat. And if you need to talk to me, Maria, I see that you can't unmute yourself. Go ahead and write to there. Okay, So once you get into my.sbcc.edu, on the left side, I've always taught you how to go through Gmail right there. I want to show you a different way just because we're all here. But if you go through Gmail, if you click on Gmail right there, okay, then it opens a new tab that gets you to the to your class emails. But if you are in the dashboard, a plan B is you can go over here to where it says email and drive. And you can click on drive because where we need to go is to the Google Drive. Okay. And then from there, and this I never showed this way, but I'm showing it to you guys as a plan B. Go to see all files. And it brings you once again to the Google Drive. So it's just a different way. And once you're in Google Drive, you're going to click on shared drives. I'm going to help Sue here for a second. And I want everyone to give me a yes if you got it. Go ahead and go to Safari. Okay. And you're already there. I had already brought you there because that's when I discovered that I hadn't shared it with anyone. So go ahead and double click to open that one. Okay. So now is the time to give me a good old yes and no. And I'm not sure if these yeses were old or they're new. So let me start with a fresh little batch of, I'm clearing your feedback. So if you need to, if you got here and you got to the folder where the class files are, give me a yes. Then you'll see Photoshop shared drive. Go ahead and, you know what, I'm gonna rename it so that it distinguishes. Let me call this one Hyflex Photoshop class files. So when you guys download this one, it'll be a different folder than the one that you have at home. So if you got here, give me a yes. If you are not here and you need a hand, please let me know. So Moni?
I have to log out of my other Google stuff because it's not taking me to the
Okay.
City College. So
You can go up here to the far right, click on, and this is like the personal. See, that's the thing. When you go here, it might take you to your other drive versus if you go here, it takes you to the school drive.
yeah,
So
that's
the
how I do.
difference.
Yeah.
So that's important to know because if you go to this one, it does take you to the pipeline versus if you go to email and drive here, you might end up in your personal drive. So in which case, if you're in your personal drive, you right click and you just say switch account or you add account and you put your other one there and you switch that way. Did you know how to do that or do you need a hand? You got it? Okay. So I'm seeing a couple of yeses. Shamuel.
For some reason, I don't have that bar that allows me to say yes or no. So I'm saying yes, I got everything.
You got it. Okay. And who else is missing? Okay, that seems to be a yes on everyone's side. Okay, so I'll continue. So once you're here, when you open up Photoshop, this folder right here, don't open it. And if you did open it, because some people do, they double click and they open it. It's a bunch of photos, but I don't want you to do it from here. You need to back out, okay? Go back out. If you're in here, you need to see it as a folder. And some of you might see it as a folder in this mode, which is just a folder. You need to right click and say download. Right click and download. And now it's preparing to download. So it's going to download on your computer. So Maria, if you're doing this, these need to download onto your computer, not into the VDI. Now, while you guys are downloading this one, I'm going to help Maria with her VDI. So Maria, just to show you how to get to the class files. Oh, see how it's saying, do you want to allow downloads from my, you have to say, okay, allow. If your computer hasn't done that yet, go ahead and say allow. That's if it's a Mac, it'll ask you that. If it's a PC, it'll just download. Mac always wants to make sure that you are allowing whatever you do to make sure that it's not a bad actor on your computer. PC kind of does it. Mac is like, are you sure? Is this okay? Is it from the internet? Are you safe? You know, so it was always asking you things like that. Okay. Once you are done with the download, then what I want you to do next is I want to open Bridge and we're going to go and get the class files from Bridge. But I'm going to stop my share and Maria, can you share while everyone's opening Bridge? Maria, can you share your screen and I'll show you on VDI how to do it?
Okay, let me see. Where is VDI? Hold on a moment.
Okay. And then I'm going to have everyone on Bridge, but right now I'm just giving I'm gonna give Maria a way because she doesn't need to download the files and she needs to get there a bit differently. I'm gonna show
Okay,
Maria
let's
and then I'm
see.
gonna show everyone else how to use Bridge. But so while you're all getting Bridge up and running, I will show you in a minute how to get the class files from Bridge, but I first need to catch up, Maria. Is Bridge still on? I'm sorry, is VDI still up and running for you, Maria? I don't hear you. I was hearing you before, but now I don't
Okay,
hear
I don't see it. I would have to, let me see.
you. Okay, just share your screen and I'll help you find it. Just share
Okay,
your,
this-
go to Zoom, share your screen, and then I'll help you find it.
screen.
Okay,
So, are you able to see? I don't
all right,
see.
so now let me get my little pencil marker. Here we go. Okay, so you had Chrome, I believe, running, but I think you were working on Chrome, not on Bridge. So go down here to see if we can find it here on your dock at the bottom on your dock. Yeah, click on that. Yes.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now in your case, go ahead and open Bridge from down here, from yeah, that one. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and click on this PC. This is just for VDI guys. So the rest of you guys who don't have VDI, don't follow through.
This
Okay.
PC, okay.
Click on Google Drive. The rest of you just kind of stand up and do a couple of shakes of your legs while I'm doing this. Click
Shared
and double click
drives.
on shared drives. Okay, and now wait. Don't do, yeah, go ahead and double click on this one too.
Photoshop, on
Yeah.
Photoshop, okay.
Yeah. Double click to open it. Okay, and it'll take a second while it starts popping in, or a little bit more than a second. It's coming in. See down there, it's downloading. So it'll be here in a minute. There we go. Give it a minute, give it a minute, and here we go. This folder, I want you to right click on it and copy it. Right click
Okay.
and copy.
Copy.
Okay. Now we're going to go back to Google Drive.
Okay.
And we're going to open my drive, the one that's circled.
Okay.
Yep. And now right click and paste. Yep, perfect. So now it's going to copy your folder, so it's going to take a little while. Okay.
Okay.
Now, once it's done, just sit with that. And now I'm going to share other people. Oh, looks like it's only 43 seconds, so I'll just wait. Yeah, let's wait. That way we don't have to find it again. Oh, it went from 43 seconds a while ago to 59 seconds, so now we're waiting. Okay. So guys, if you're watching, this portion will be the same for you guys. Once you get the folder in Bridge, which some of you know how to get it, some of you don't, I'll be there. I'll show it in a minute. I want you to drag the folder over here into the favorites. So I'm waiting for her to get it. And you guys will go to your downloads folder to get it. So if you know how to do that, go ahead and do that. But otherwise, she's almost done. Okay.
Okay.
So here, this folder, just drag it out here. Don't double click anything. Just drag it out.
Drag it.
Yeah, just click and
there.
drag. Yeah, and let go.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. Now click on this and you're set and ready to go. The files are in your personal Google Drive now. And this
Okay.
is, so you're ready to go. And now I'm going to help everyone else. Stop your
Okay.
share. Now just sit there and wait for everyone else.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So now I'm going to share my Bridge. Okay. Well, I'm going to share my entire desktop for a second. For the most part, the files should have downloaded, right? You should all have them, but just in case you don't know, this is a Mac. So I can go over here to my downloads and there it is, File, Photoshop, Hyflex, Photoshop, class files. On a Mac, they unzip automatically. But if you're on a PC and you go there, you might find that it's still zipped. If so, you need to extract it. I don't
Okay.
know if anyone has them extracted or not, but everyone, got File Explorer for PC people, Finder for Mac, click on downloads, although for the Mac people, it's fine, automatically unzipped. So for you PC people, let me know if anyone needs help unzipping them. What's that?
And Diana, where should we unzip it to? Just right in the downloads
Same,
folder?
yeah, I mean, if you want to work off of a different folder, but if you keep it on the downloads folder while we're learning, it'll stay there, and then later when you're done with class, you can delete it. If these are files that you're going to keep for some reason, put them in some other folder. It's up to you. So now we're in Bridge. Okay. So here on the left side where it says computer, favorites or folders, if you go to folders, you'll be able to find them, but then you won't be able to access them quickly in the future. So stay in favorites on the left side. Click on the word computer. Sorry, I think it's my computer for PC people and computer for my PC, I think is what PC people have.
This
Mac,
PC.
my computer, this PC, okay. So for Mac people, don't go to this PC, go to your name. In my case, it's DE Musakyo. Okay. For Mac people, it's your name. For PC people, it's my PC. And then you'll have all these different folders that come in your computer. Grab the downloads folder and drag it out. Again, we're not double clicking on it. We're just dragging it out to make a favorites of our downloads folder. Now, some of you who have used Bridge before with me have already done that. Downloads is already there, right? That's good. Now we'll click on downloads. And now amongst all your downloads folder, we're going to go find the folder that we just created. Which in my case, here it is. Now, if you have a ton of stuff in your downloads folder, you might have to go and sort by file name or by file type, and you get all your folders at the front or something like that. Like if you have hundreds of things in your downloads, you might need to do a search by the file name. Over here, you might need to search for the word Photoshop. It depends on what you have. But in my case, I found it easily. And again, I'm not opening it up. I'm just dragging it out here. So now I can click on it, and that's it. Now, every time I open Bridge, all I need to do is click right here. So I don't have to go searching for it inside of all of my files and folders. But just so you know, guys, the way Bridge works, so you click here on folders and you just go through all your computer files. Like you might have things in your documents or wherever you have stuff, right? You just search and you find the stuff that you want to view in Bridge. And right now, I'll put here the one that I want. So Bridge works in a way that it's a finder window basically for a Mac, or it's a file explorer for the PC. Only it's an Adobe product and it does much more than just that, but it works the same way in the sense that you find the files where they are in their computer. You're not creating catalogs or stuff like that. You're finding the photos wherever you put them in your computer. And so we have this in our downloads folder and we found them. Now I'm going to clear your feedback. Everyone who got there and has the right class files, give me a yes. And anyone who needs a hand because this explanation wasn't too fast or it didn't work, I'm aware that many of you guys have done it, so I'm going relatively fast. But if this is very new to you for any reason and it's not very clear, then give me a no. All right, how are we doing over here, Sue? You got the class files, I see them. Did you put the, yeah, so back up one time to downloads, to the word downloads. Yeah, and then just drag this out here. Just
under downloads.
yeah, just put it here in any of the black area. Yeah, it's a little bit hard, but that's there we go. And just don't want to drop it into anything. Just one down. There we go. Let go. And now click on it. And you created another. And there we go. And then now we don't have to ever change from there anymore. All right. I'm seeing yeses everywhere. Colette, I don't see you saying yes. Is that a yes? All right. I'll let you answer whenever you want to answer, Colette. Meanwhile, as you can see, it's the same set of Friday photos. I'm going to use different ones, but I couldn't delete the ones that were there because we're still in the Friday class. So I just added some. All right. Eric, you said that you'd worked with Photoshop 10 years ago. Have you ever worked with Bridge? Is that new? Is completely new to you? You're muted, so if you're answering, I can't hear you.
Sorry. Yeah, this is completely new to me.
Okay, great. By the way, Moni, I see that you're saying happy fabulous Photoshop day. Is it because it's Photoshop class day or is there a Photoshop day? And I'm only asking because on social media, I saw that yesterday was your son's day or daughter's day or things like that. And I'm like,
No,
oh,
it's just,
yeah, Photoshop day.
yeah, no, I just call it Happy Photoshop Day.
Yay, you get to learn Photoshop. Aha, wonderful. I love that energy. I love you're always smiling and you always feel like you're learning. I love that. Okay, so now I'm almost done with the admin part, for example. These are the class files. There's one more thing that we need to do that, again, most of you guys have done, but for a couple of you guys, from Maria, from Eric, this will be totally new. Maybe for Sue, I'm not sure if you've used this much before, but one more thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the internet and use a thing called Padlet. And I'm just sharing it with you right now, and I'm going to share it with you guys in a minute. But I have a new folder called Photoshop Hyflex, and I'm going to copy the link in the chat. Head over to the chat, you guys, and in the chat right now that I'm hiding, I put in a link. And that link that I just put in the link, please click on that link so that it will take you to the class Padlet. Now, oh, you don't have it, Sue, because you're in class, and I had run into that before. So let me give a second. Let me give Sue a plan B to how to get there in the class handouts. How to use class Padlet. I have right there. I put the link. There we go. Here we go. I came upon that last time in class that I didn't know how to make people in person find it, and I put that link there on purpose. Okay, so so the way the class Padlet's gonna work is, and I'm gonna show you the Friday group. You Friday people are using this one, and basically how this is going to work is that as we do the work, this is the latest stuff we've done. And as I move downwards, and this is mainly for Maria and Eric to understand, you're going to be turning in your work that we do during class. So it's not like turning in your work. It's more like you're doing screenshots of everything that we're working on. Okay, so anyway, this is the Friday class. Our personal one that we're doing here is empty, except for I have a few things here already. How to make screenshots, because as we work in Photoshop or we work with Bridge, so right now we all got our class files in Bridge. What I want you to do is a screenshot of your class files in Bridge, and it'll be our first post in Padlet. So we learn how to post in Padlet, and then we'll be doing 2 to 3 to 4 posts a day as we go through class of the work we did that day. And also homework. So people who do the homework, you can post this in the Padlet all the time. Now, when I say how, well, if you go to the class files, right under where we downloaded this, our class files, I have a couple of different things in here. One of them is Zoom class recording links for Hyflex. You might have noticed I'm recording the class. Something told you when you walked in, your class is being recorded. So I'm going to put the class recording in here. First of all, if you go to how to use Padlet, the link for this Padlet is there. But if you just go to the Zoom class recording links for Photoshop Hyflex, which is today's class, over here, I also have the class Padlet link. So during the week, if you're doing homework and you're needing to post it, you can come to the link over here to pick up, to take you to the class Padlet, okay? This is also the place, and again, this is new for Maria and Eric. This is also the place where you're going to get to the class recordings and the class summaries. Now, these are sample because we haven't done today's class yet. But if you wait until the day after the class has been taught, then you'll have a recording here. If you go to the recording, it'll take you to YouTube, and it's a private link, so it's only people who are in the class. And you go ahead, and here's the whole class recording. Okay. And in this case, it's a 3.5-hour class, right? And so my recommendation is the entire 3.5 hours is on the recording. So you should have a notepad near your computer. And if I'm talking about how to access the class files, and you know that you're going to have to review that, for example, or how to use a particular tool or another, you look at the time and you go, oh, at 6:50, PM, she was talking about something that I want to review later. So you write down 6:50 PM. And then you go, okay, the class starts at 5, 6:50 PM. That means that an hour and 50 minutes have gone by. So then you kind of go over here to about an hour and 50 minutes and you click on there, and that about thereabouts, I should be talking about that thing that you wanted to review. Does that make sense? Because you don't want to sit through the whole thing. Now, if you did miss a class or did have to leave half an hour early, half an hour late, then you definitely have to review it. What I need you to know, since the recordings are available, you have to watch them so that the next time we're not stuck, you know, like we're moving forward instead of having to repeat it. Sometimes some of you have been through these classes and know I teach it differently each time, but say that there's something you really don't need to sit through the first hour of this class again because you already know what all the setup is like, then you just skip straight to the first hour. But if you just want to see what's been happening when you click on this link and you click on it again, you can either read it in there, which bugs me a bit, or you can just go to the, why is it taking me? Open preview. Why the preview? I want it to open. How weird. I haven't done it in this computer. I want to go to it. I want to open just the preview. I think if I click on name, it'll take me to it. Yeah, there we go. All right. So now this is a summary put together by AI, okay? Not by me. So it's not perfect, but it basically says a quick recap of what I taught and next steps. Usually it has any homework, and then it'll goes through some paragraphs of what it is that I covered during the class. Okay, so it helps you kind of have an idea of, oh, here's the part that I missed, or I didn't, this part I wasn't there, so it looks like I need to go view the last, you know, quarter part of the class or stuff like that. So it gives you an idea of what was covered. But for some of you guys, you might want to do that to, you know, between Wednesday and Monday. There's enough days that you might go, what did we do on Wednesday? So you might want to read the read the summary. But if you missed a class, it doesn't teach you. It just says Deanna showed people how to, you know, duplicate a layer, but it doesn't say how to duplicate a layer. The video will show me teaching you how to duplicate a layer. So the video is what you need to watch if you miss anything. Okay. All right. So, and then here you have some other links that I'm going to email you today, how to do VDI. So Maria, if you want to remember how to do VDI because you're at home and I need to practice Photoshop. How did I do VDI again? Here's the whole how to use VDI again, how to get in and out, how to get to the class files. So I'm going to, and there's one more in here that's a survey, and I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to put it in the chat. So please go to the chat, everyone. If you have filled this out before for the same Photoshop class, I don't need you to fill it out again. But if you have a new need or interest, because that's where you're going to tell me what you want to learn or something like that, then go ahead and make a new response to the survey, okay? So now, in the Padlet, I also have a link to the class survey. So if you don't do it right now, you can do it over the week. And I have how to make screenshots. We're going to do that right now. I have one handout that's in the handouts, but I also have read this article. And if you click on here, again, you can read it here, or you can just download it onto your computer, or you can find it in the class files. So I also have the folder here in the class files. So you have all these things in many different places. But in the Padlet, it's kind of right there. The two things that I want you to do over this next few days: read this article and fill out the class survey. Oh, and some of you guys have already posted the today's whoop, sorry, I need to change how this is showing up. You've already done the first post, so people who already know what we're doing, we're going to do our first post. So first we're going to go to Bridge again, and we're going to do a screenshot. Okay, now the screenshot, I want you to include just well, the fact that you're in your computer and you got the class files. So if you're on a Mac, let me start with Mac people. Remind me, Eric, are you a Mac person or a PC person?
I'm on a Mac.
On a Mac, okay.
Mhm.
So I usually try to keep track, but and there's so few of you guys in this class that I can probably keep track pretty well. So Shift Command 4 on a Mac gives us this little you know, what do you call it? The X, whatever, like a bullseye thing. And then I can click and drag across here, and you don't need to get the whole thing as long as you get, you know, the fact that you made it in the favorites, you have your folder and everything's good. That's good enough. Make a little screenshot of that. If you're on a Mac, that screenshot is going and automatically setting itself onto the desktop. If you're on a PC, you're going to do something similar to that, but it's it's Windows icon on your for PC people. You have a keyboard on your keyboard that has the Windows key. So it's Windows key Shift S. And then you'll get something similar to this where when you do that, everything else goes gray. And then that actually, instead of going as a file to the desktop, it saves into your computer as a copy. So then we're going to go to Padlet and we're going to click on this little plus sign over here. And you need to put your name. So over here, see, like I can see that it says Mike Lawson on the top, but it says Bridge. It's better if you put your name here because for some people their name doesn't appear. So I'm going to put my name here. And then over here, I'm going to write Bridge, right? Or first class assignment or whatever. And then over here, for PC people who have a saved thing in their clipboard, just do a Control V so it'll paste in here and the image will show up. For Mac people, we're going to just click on upload and we're going to go to your desktop and you're going to choose the file that you just, I know I have a very messy desktop because I'm teaching my Mac class how to organize their handups. In fact, that's what I'm doing. And so right now we have a very messy desktop in that class, so it's kind of hard to find. So I'm going to go ahead and organize by date added. And so, oh, this was the computer. Okay, it's kind of weird. On this computer, for some reason, the way they have it set up, the things are not landing in the desktop. They're landing, yeah. So I'm going to do a copy instead. Hold on, I'll explain it later. But on this computer, for this school computer, the stuff is landing on a different place. So I'm going to just do a copy, which is similar. But I just do a copy. Okay. And now I'm going to paste it. Command V to paste. And here's my, nope. Where in the world? The other day I discovered that this does a weird, it saves it. I don't know why all computers have always saved, as far as I know, to the desktop, but this one saves to a weird folder. Wow, it's not wanting to copy either. I need to figure out where I found it the other day. I forgot that it does, it has some.
I can also find it in recents.
Yeah, I need to also go in ahead and, yeah, hold on. I need to change it. For some reason they put it in date last open, hold on. No, it's not doing the screenshot. Sorry. It went into some weird place. And since I just messed up with all the I just messed up all the class files because in the classes where I'm teaching them how to organize their class files, I made a mess of it and I'm trying to remember. Wow, how weird. Here I am. Where is this? It's so funny. This computer is brand new and it's just set up and it doesn't. And I need to figure out where it's hiding my screenshots. And I found it the other day. And I can't find it right now. Okay, you know what? Just for now, because I want to continue going with the class, just because I don't have it, I'll just put in whatever. I'm just gonna post any old screenshot that I have. Doesn't matter which one. And that's my handout for now. Because I need to go figure out what happened to this computer, to the screenshots. Okay. Oh, I know how to do it. Okay, never mind. Next time that I do a poster. So I want everyone to post something. So I'm seeing only a few. Do I need to refresh? I'm seeing only a few of you guys. So Maria, Eric, Colette, where are your screenshots? And if you're having any issues, Shamuel did it, Rebecca did it, Mike did it. So there's quite a few there, but if not, Maria, do you need a hand? Because since you're on VDI, it's a little bit different for you in that you need to do a screenshot of the VDI stuff. But this, you either have to choose to do it inside of VDI or outside of VDI. So I don't know what's more natural. You're muted, so I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself so I can give you a hand?
All right. Okay. Okay, let's see.
So tell me what's happening so that I can help.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if it
Do you
works.
want to share your screen? I just don't know where you're at to know how to help you. So if you want to share your screen, I can walk you through it. VDI has this thing where you can do it all inside of VDI, or she can do a screenshot inside of her own computer. And when I put the link, go ahead and share your screen, because when I put the link in the chat, that one's taking you to your own computer.
It didn't do it. It's not showing.
You're not sharing yet, no.
My screenshot is not, you not see it?
She
You don't
made
see
a
it?
screenshot.
You're not sharing it.
No, she made a screenshot. It's on the Padlet.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
Padlet itself. Oh, there it is. It is showing now. Got it.
Yes. Okay.
I was waiting for you to share, but you got it. So perfect.
Okay.
It worked.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone knows how to do that. Thanks, Rebecca, for explaining what I wasn't seeing. All right, cool. So now off we're running. So that's how you turn in your work, so to say.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? As we go through the class, you're going to be posting the stuff in here. When I don't see your screen, and unless you have issues where you have to share your screen, other than that, I don't know what you're doing. So this is my way of seeing that you are keeping up and that you're working. Okay. Now this time we didn't write anything, but you'll see on as we go along, and I'm going to show you on the other one. We're going to be writing on the bottom of them what tools we used and how we did it. And some people are better at writing than others. Some people write it a lot. Some people don't write a lot. But ideally, use this as a way to remember what you're doing. What are the tools you use to get to wherever we got to? All right. So, you know what I'm noticing? Since this is a new class, I don't think I have my alarms for break time set up, because without those things, I don't notice what time it is. Yeah, and it looks like it's about time for a break. Now, I know that for some of you guys who just joined are like, what do you mean break already? We just started. But given that we're done with all the other stuff, and the moment we start again, we'll launch straight into opening Bridge and Photoshop and start on images. This is a good time to take our break. So break is usually, no, I did have it. No, that's a different alarm, sanding at the right time. So let's take our break. It's 15 minutes. Let me put it in the chat. What time? It's 7:04, so be back at 7:20 p.m. Is that, did I get that right? I'm always bad.
7:19.
7:19, what's that? No, class goes to 8 p.m., 7:55. Why do I have? So I'm really, no, you're right. In my phone, it says that it's 5 to 9 p.m. That's why it seems like we're in the middle of it. No, we're not in the middle of it. We're way past the middle of it. Ugh. Let me fix that. Okay, I thought it wasn't mid-class. We're way over there. So, and we may, maybe let's take a shorter break because we've done so much coming and going. But for the people who've been here since the beginning, like you need your break. For everyone else is like, all right. So let's just do 7:15. 10 minutes, is that good enough for this time? Unless some people already left and they haven't heard that. That would be bad. All right, see you guys in 10, okay? See you at 7:15.
Can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now? Okay, great. Cool. So if you're there, turn on your videos, or if you're there but you don't normally turn on your videos, then give me a yes to let me know that your warm bodies on the other side. You're there. All right, perfect. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Samuel. I think I saw you say yes or something. You must be there. And Colette. Okay. So, who else was it that was here that was on our list? We were noticing. So just a quick question, Eric and someone else was on the list. Eric, you're on the roster for in-person. Just to clarify, you're going to be always online, right? Is that right? You're just on the wrong CRN? That's all. It doesn't matter, but just for me to know.
Yeah, I thought I had registered for online.
It
But I guess
doesn't
I did
matter.
pick the
If you,
wrong one.
no big deal. I just write Zoom instead, but I just wanted, there was one more person that we had to check in with, right? Oh, Colette, you're also in the in-person, but you're also always online. So you're going to be online, right, Colette? Yeah, you've always been
I
online,
think
but
I might have signed up. I signed up for whatever number you needed.
got
And
it.
so I
Okay.
think that was also in person, and I definitely will be doing Zoom. So
Nope, Monique, you're not in the, you're in
oh, I'm
the,
not.
you're in
I'm
the,
in the Zoom.
it's just Colette,
Oh,
Eric,
good.
and
Okay.
one more person who didn't come today. So I'll reach out to them, and then Sue. So there was 5 people, but one person already told me she can't make the class, so it's the 4. All right, and the rest of you are all as Zoom, so that's good. Just wanted to confirm. Okay, here we go. So I have Bridge open and ready to go. And in case you don't yet, you can open Photoshop, but you don't have to necessarily open Photoshop. What the important part is to open, let me share my screen. Why is my screen not sharing? Here we go. Bridge and Photoshop. And I also have my VDI in case we need to. Nope, that's a bad idea because the VDI extends it to the other screen, which means it's hard to see both screens. So let me change that share and turn off the VDI. Okay, so just these 3. Sorry, there's a limit to how much I can share and have it be useful. Okay, so we're in Bridge now. And, okay, so I'm gonna just showing you around a little bit for people who are completely new to Bridge, but I'm not going to spend too much time in Bridge because I know many of you guys know it. But basically right now, what we do with Bridge is we equalize the fact that half of you guys are Mac people, half of you guys are PC people, and then I wouldn't have to be demoing, you know, the File Explorer and the Finder, which work differently. This works in that sense the same for both Mac or PC, where once you have your files, then from here we're going to open them. But it has the advantage that it's an Adobe program. And so it allows us a lot. First of all, it allows us a lot of work with Camera Raw. So we're going to definitely use Camera Raw worked from Bridge because Camera Raw is an application. It's Adobe Camera Raw is part of Photoshop, and it comes inside of Photoshop, but it also comes inside of Bridge. So you can use Camera Raw without even entering Photoshop straight from Bridge. So we're going to do that with it. And raw files, and I know, Maria, you mentioned, I don't know, but I think you might have, somehow I think you said that you didn't know what a raw was or something like that. Maybe it wasn't Maria. But I know that I've been talking about it for the rest of the students. Eric, you said you're a photographer, so you know what raw is. But basically, just so you keep an eye on that, Maria, if you have an iPhone or an Android that is newer than, I don't know, 4 years old at this point, 4 years or newer, or even 5 years or newer, then all phones now are capable of taking raw images with just the raw camera. But it doesn't automatically. You would have to go into the settings and turn on the feature. Otherwise, it just gets you JPEGs. And for everyone else, if you are people who have your own DSLRs, you can, of course, change the features to to shoot just a RAW or just a JPEG, or both RAW and JPEG. That's DSLRs. Phones can either do one or the other. And what's the difference is that we're going to have a negative, much bigger file if it's a RAW file. So don't just go around and set your phone to RAW and shoot everything in RAW, because your phone is going to fill up unnecessarily if you do a lot of like any old photos that you won't be post-processing. But for places where you're going to be post-processing those photos, you think these are going to be photos that you might want to enlarge, put on a wall, really do work with, then sure, setting it to shoot in RAW, that photo will give you much more leeway to work with it because it hasn't been touched yet. That's what RAW means, versus the typical JPEG that you see has already been post-processed by the camera. It's already been clipped at the highlights and the lowlights. It already has less of range in what you can work with it. It's already been, maybe some sharpness has been added, some lightness, some warmth, some stuff has been added. So it's an already post-processed photo. Post-processing would be what happens to the photo after it gets shot. And the cameras do it. Your camera is doing it, and it's compressing it, and it's already giving you less quality than you could have if you had shot that camera photo in RAW. Now, for the lay person, it's barely noticeable, to say the truth. But if you're someone who cares about photos that are, you know, really important, and on top of that, you're shooting in very, so I'm talking to the camera here, and Sue is right in front of me, and we usually had 10 people I was doing like that, but now I'm like focusing on you guys. So I'm gonna move this over here so I can focus on talking to everyone. I'm going to move you guys here. I'm going to just move some stuff around. Give me a second. It'll take me a couple of, so that I'm looking at Sue. Otherwise, poor Sue is not being looked at all. Well, I care. I feel like I'm talking. I like to talk to the group. Here we go. So now I'm kind of somewhere in between. If you are willing to post-process a photo, definitely shoot it in RAW, but don't ignore your RAW photos, because as is, when they come out of the camera, they're not as interesting as a JPEG, because a JPEG has been sharpened and, you know, made prettier, so to say. It looks better off the top of your head, a JPEG, than a RAW image. For a RAW image, you need to work on it to make it look better. But if you're not going to work on it, then you have a huge file on your hands that is occupying all your, you know, all your stuff. So you don't necessarily need everything in RAW if you're just a regular, you know, taking pictures of my kids playing around. Now, if those kids playing around are going to give you an amazing portrait that you're going to hang on the wall, then definitely you can shoot them in RAW. You know what I mean? Anyway, so a RAW photo will be processed differently than a JPEG, or not, because we can process JPEGs through the same RAW material. And in that sense, Eric, you said you've still been working with Lightroom. Are you still working with Lightroom, Eric?
Yeah, I've been working with Lightroom the longest.
Okay.
Yeah.
But currently it's like you are up to date with the
Yes, yeah. I'm up to
develop
date with
module.
Lightroom. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So basically the develop module in Lightroom is Adobe Camera Raw-ish. There are some differences, but you can pretty much, you'll see it's almost the same. So anyway, whenever you have a photo, all these photos, there's JPEGs, there's RAWs, there's PSDs. But when we see an image that's already been worked on in RAW, it'll come with this little tiny icon there on the top right. So you'll see these little thingy that is basically saying this has been processed in RAW. Now, we're going to clear those settings, and this is for people who are in this class. Don't clear the settings if those are settings that you've worked on in the regular Friday class. But if you are focusing on the Hyflex Photoshop class, these are not the ones that you've already worked on. These are new ones that you just downloaded. Does that make sense? So you're not going to lose anything if you work on these, even if you have that same one in the other folder. Anyway, so whenever you see something that says that it's been focused, that it's been worked on, you can right click on that little icon or on that photo. And we're going to go ahead and hit over to develop settings, and we're going to clear the settings. So is that being shared? Yeah, so we did a right click, then we go to develop settings and clear the settings. Now there's quite a few here that we can do some clearing of the settings. And oh my God, is it already 7:30? It's time has flown. with stuff. So I'm going to clear the settings. And then you can see there's quite a few of them that have that. There's one more here, there's one more here, there's one more here. So how about I choose a few more at a time and do it to all of them. So you select one, hold down. If you're on a Mac, you hold down the Command key and you click on more. If you're on a PC, you hold down the Control key and you keep on more. So Sue, go ahead and do that. Select anything that has these little icons on them, which is basically these 4. We already did 1, but if you have 5, do 5. And we can clear those developed settings all at once. So after if you have a Command key for the Mac, Control key for the PC, click on all the ones that you want, and then you can right click and develop settings and clear all the settings at once for all of them, right? So then you don't have to do them one by one. Now that's it for what has developed settings and what doesn't. Now over here, you had sort them by file name or by type. So I had shifted to by type. So I was seeing my folders at the front and then a whole bunch of mixed up images, or I can sort by file name. If I sort by file name, then it's easier to go A, B, C, D, you know, so all of our files can be in the same position. So for now, let's go ahead and sort them by file name, so it's easier for all of us to find the files at the same spot. Now, we're going to go ahead and open a regular any old photo that's a JPEG. And a JPEG can be opened from, if this were Apple, a Finder window, or if this were the PC, from the File Explorer. If you click on a JPEG, it's not going to open in Photoshop. If you click on a JPEG, it's going to open in like Preview or something like that. So, but we're in Bridge, which is an Adobe program. And Adobe knows that JPEGs are things that you process in Photoshop. So in Bridge, if you just double click a JPEG, any old JPEG, let's just do that to the first one, the one called Abstract. Let's double click on that one, and it's going to open in Photoshop. So if Photoshop was open, that's good. If Photoshop was not open, it will open Photoshop. It'll kick open to Photoshop. So it'll open up. And then when you first open Photoshop, many times there's this little, oh, look what's new in Photoshop, which is constantly something new in Photoshop. And so it's showing me that right now, that feature. So if you just want to say, get started, no, thank you. It's weird. Usually they come with an X that you can say X to. And if not, hit the escape key and it'll go away. And basically what it's showing you is this tool here at the bottom. It's new to Photoshop, and it's, wait, where is it? Nope, I didn't want to do generative credits. Where's the rotate tool? Under the hand, I believe. Yeah, this is the tool they were talking about. And in case it matters to anyone, now you can shift your canvas around in Photoshop, which I'm not asking you to do. I'm just showing it to you because it's new and that's what they were showing us. But just know it's possible. Now that's really useful if you're a designer and you're using a pen to draw and you're trying to draw a line. You know how hard it is with your mouse to do that. But if you're actually using a graphic tablet pen, it's nice to be able to shift your like when you write, you know how when you write, you kind of shift the paper a little bit to write. Same thing with designing. But for Photoshop, we don't need it too much, to say the truth, when you're just working on photos. All right, so here we have an image that's open up. And at the bottom of our image, this little guy is showing up. And this is a contextual taskbar, something that's probably totally new to you, Eric, and other people who haven't used Photoshop in a while. This is a contextual taskbar. So the word context, and see how I'm using this little lined area to not touch anything else, but to click on move it. Moving it a little bit up here so we can see it better. But it usually pops in somewhere down at the bottom here. And as I move my mouse around, it kind of follows you around. So if I were to make a selection here, it would follow me around. So for some people, that bugs them. I'm moving it here for us to see it better, but I like to keep it kind of out of the way. The name contextual taskbar, what it suggests is that every time you look at this taskbar, it'll look different. It'll have different buttons, because depending on what I'm doing to this image, it'll give you like the top 5 or top 3 hits of what I might want to do to this image. There's 8,500,000 things I could do to it, but those are the top possible choices, right? And that's why it's called the contextual taskbar, and that's why it pops in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it back down a little bit out of the way. Did anyone not have it? Does anyone not have this taskbar? Because if you don't have it, I can show you how to pop it on or off.
Eric.
Eric, you don't have it? Okay. So head up to the word window. And then at the very bottom, you'll see the contextual taskbar. When I say window to someone who's on a Mac, let me just share my entire screen for a minute. For PC people, the window that shows up right there. But on the Mac, you have to go all the way to the top of the entire computer to the Mac window, and that's the window that we're talking about. And then if you turn this off by clicking on it, it disappears. And if you click on it and turn it on again, now it appears. Now, another way for it to disappear or appear would be if I go to the 3 little dots over there and I say, hide the bar. I don't want you. No bar, thank you. And I hide the bar. But how do I then bring it up again without going all the way to window, where I can right click on this area outside of the photograph? Like if I'm not in the photograph, right click, and then I can just show contextual taskbar right there. Okay, so that's another way to make it appear and disappear. Click on these things and say hide bar, and then right click and show bar. All right. There's so much other stuff that we can do with it, but for now, I'm going to ignore it and teach you a couple of other things. First of all, on the left side of the screen, you have a bunch of tools, which might or not be similar to mine. I want you all to have the same bars I have. And how do we choose that? We go over to the top far right of my screen, and let me actually get my annotation tools. Here we go. Over here at the top right of my screen, it's one to the right or one to the left if you're on a Mac or on a PC, but it's pretty similar otherwise. Hold on, because my annotation toolbars are turned on. That's the workspaces. And when I click on that, oh, no, thank you. Okay, so click on that. And then you have a whole set of tools. The first time you ever open Photoshop, if you've never opened it before, it's in something called Core Tools. As long as you have the latest update, it's in Core Tools. If you don't have the latest update, Core Tools don't exist. And I'm talking about latest update from a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, the Core Tools didn't exist, and now it exists, okay? Core Tools is very few tools here on the side. See how now suddenly there's a lot of empty space? Some tools on the sidebar that are there and a bunch that are not. If we head over to Essentials, see how many more tools appear over there? But also this thing has been changing between Core Tools and Essentials. There's a different set of stuff that happens over here. And then we have, painting, motion, photography. Let's head over to Photography. And again, many different things happen. And we have even more tools than before here on the right side, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to keep to, which is the one that I'm using on Fridays. I'm using Photography, right, on Friday for you guys. How about we change the picture a little bit just to see different tools, and we click on Essentials this time, just so you guys can see what the differences are and learn how to handle different operating workspaces and stuff like that. All right. So is everyone shifted their workspace to Essentials in Photoshop? Give me, let me clear your answers, because that's fine. You're giving me feedback. Y'all give me a yes if you got your Essentials. Again, when you go to motion, you can edit motion, picture, and you can make animations in Photoshop. You can do graphic, web stuff, so there's all these different choices. So it's like there's so much that they can't give you all the tools at once. So we're going to start with Essentials. Now, when you start with Essentials, you might have, sorry, that's my phone not ringing, but I have alarms set up. And since that is the first time I'm teaching at this schedule on a Monday, those are alarms that are normally set up for a Monday. They're not part of this class. I need to fix them. Sorry about that. But right now, I'm not going to fix them right now. I'm just teaching and I'll fix them later. Okay, so when we want something that we don't see, like just now, if you had to turn on or turn off the contextual taskbar, you'll find them up here on Windows. So say that you were using the photography set of tools and you wanted the adjustments, right? But now, since I told you to use Essentials, you don't see the adjustments handy. Well, you go up to Window and you click on adjustments and the adjustments become handy. And they were there after all, they were just kind of hiding under this other tab. But by going up here to window, they popped up. Does that make sense? Now there's other tools that might not show up at all. So say that I want my character styles for some reason because I want to write, and I click on character, then it's going to pop itself into this little column here where it adds itself on and off, and then I can turn this off and turn it on from there by clicking on it, make it pop in and pop out. If you're following me and you've been able to add, doesn't matter what, just add a few things, just add, let's go to gradients. Okay, where are my gradients? There they are. I popped them open. Let's go to layer comps, and there we go, something else is popping up. I'm not going to teach you what each one of these things is right now, but I want you guys to add some things that don't have a check mark. If it doesn't have a check mark, that means that there's something else. And I click on material.
History is good.
Oh, the history is always there by default, but just so you know, yeah, if you click on history,
No, mine
it's
wasn't.
there, it just oh, yours wasn't. Okay.
No,
But
I
that's,
did.
but that's what I'm about to teach. It's possible that some things have disappeared or are not there. So once you, some of these things, when you pop them up, and I'm trying to find one, might just pop up in the middle, not necessarily in the nice little tool. So for some of you guys, let me see if I, one of these notes, well, they're all popping very comfortably in the middle, but sometimes things pop up like that, like they just pop up in the middle or somewhere else, okay? In which case,
Histogram.
what's that?
Histogram was in the middle of the picture.
Yeah, so it depends on how it's set up. So now that you've got a bit of a mess and things aren't the way you wanted them to be and things are all over the place, how are we going to clean this up? We're going to go back here to essentials. We want essentials, so we're going to clean essentials. And then we're going to go back to it one more time, and we're going to say reset essentials. Reset essentials. And so whoa, all that mess that we just made will clean up again. And sometimes you want to leave that because you like working with all that stuff, then you can create your own workspace. You can say, no, I liked all that. So you put all the stuff you like to work with, and then you just make yourself a new workspace, okay? We're not going to make yourself a new workspace right now. We have nothing special. We've just reset it back to its basics. But after we reset our essentials, we might discover that there's some things that we want. And then we'll create our own workspace to work with, okay? So you don't have to be stuck with just these 5. You can say, well, I want to do a little bit of that, a little bit of that. So once you organize the workspace to work for you, you just make, it has to be all up and running. Then you say new workspace, call it, you know, Diana's workspace, and then you go to that one whenever you want to work, okay? All right, so I'm going to clear those drawings and that little pink button from there. And I'm going to clear your answers. And good. So now, okay, so these are, let me just minimize my share to not have to share everything now that I've shown you those windows. We don't see it all the time. Here we go. Now which was easy to share only this much. All right, so that was Photoshop, where we have something open. Now, one of the most important things that we're going to be using is this layers panel area down here. We're going to be creating different things on this image based on layers. So if your photo, depending on the resolution of your screen, if you're left with just very little place to not see layers at all, then we can actually modify the size of what's above, or we can put our mouse here in between these two. And the moment my tip of my mouse touches this line that divides them, and it comes in and turns into a 2-headed arrow, then I can click and drag to move it up, move it down, so that I can see more or less of the stuff that I'm seeing. See that? So anyway, go ahead and just move this up a little bit more so we have a little bit more space on our layers. All right. Now, in the essentials, we have a ton of tools. It's one of the ones that has the most tools. It's like a bit of everything, like a potpourri or smorgasbord of tools. And so when we go to the left side, we'll find that a lot of the tools have a little tiny triangle under them. In fact, this one doesn't, but pretty much every other tool has a little triangle. Versus, look what happened when I was in like core tools. See how a few tools have a triangle and others don't? See that? So I'm going to bring us back to the essentials though. But let me show you that those little tiny triangles aren't necessarily always there. What it means that there's more tools underneath. So say that I click and hold my mouse. When I click on this one, then, oh, there were 2 tools under this one. There's the move tool and there's the artboard tool. Now I'm going to leave it in move tool, but those of you who've taken Illustrator with me are going to be like, woo, artboard tool, because this is something that came in from Illustrator. And when I click on artboard tool, I suddenly have a tool that I'm not going to bother teaching to you Photoshoppers, but it's pretty cool. So I'm going to click and hold again and choose move tool. You see how the little box went from there to there when I clicked artboard tool, and then over here it's showing me that little kind of diving fish, which is what I call the icon for a little diving whale for my artboard tool. I'm going to click and hold, and there's that little box there because that one's the chosen one. I go back to the move tool, and now I'm back to the little 4 square thing that is the move tool. Does that make sense? So if I click and hold on this one, there's 4 marquee tools, and the one that's the chosen one is the one that has a little box. If I click and hold on this one, there's 4 different selection things, right? So always the one that you've chosen. But say it, I do shift to this one, and I'm looking for the lasso tool, I won't see it because the icon is going to have switched, right? So you need to always kind of begin to know where your tools are and what they're supposed to look like. Does that make sense? Usually the default one is the one that's the topmost choice. So if you're wondering if you left it in the right place or not, go choose the top one, and then you'll begin to recognize the shapes of these tools as the main ones. And we'll soon begin to know what's underneath each one. Okay. The one that we want to always live on is the top one. So like that's our home tool, so to say, the button that we don't want to be losing. And so there's shortcuts to come back to these tools. And the shortcut for this one, and it looks like I don't have them turned on, but if you hover for a little while on a tool, a little tool tip appears over here. So I need to just not move my mouse and just hover over it. Like my mouse is not clicking, but hovering over it. And then this tooltip appears, which on the one hand has an animation, which will show me how that tool works, right? So I go over here. So I'm going to get rid of this, pause it. Okay. And I'm going to hit escape to get rid of that. So that's what I could do if I want to learn a tool. Or I can watch that video, or I can go when it says learn more, it's going to take me all the way to the internet, and it's going to have like a whole explanation about the move tool. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of ways to learn. But the most important thing is that there's this little letter V next to the word move tool, and that's a shortcut. And so if I go to any tool over here, I hover for a little bit on this one, it gives me the clone step tool, and it says S. I hover over the T, and I wait for it for a little bit. And the horizontal type tool, it said a T over there. I moved over too soon. See how down here it shows a T, it shows an A. So we want to start learning these important ones. And the most important one is the move tool. So let's all go click on the hand way down here. Let's click on something way down there, the hand. So I'm not on the move tool, and I have a little hand on me. And say that I now want to go to the move tool. If you remember, it was V, the keyboard V. And if I go to my keyboard and I tap the letter V, boom, I have now chosen again my move tool. See that? Now, the hand tool is the H. So let's hit the H, and boom, I'm back on the hand tool. See that? And the P is the pen tool, and the B is the brush tool. So these are such old tools that have been around forever that they kind of caught the best shortcuts because, you know, P for pen, B for brush. So some of the really easy ones to remember. Now we're going to use the B to get the brush all the time because there's so many paintbrush looking things that you'll always get the wrong one unless you hit the B, for example, etc., etc. Okay, you can learn the ones that you need the most. You don't need to learn all of them, but just showing you when I talk about go to the move V or move tool, that's what I mean. When I say V or move tool, I mean click on the V or click on the B for brush. That's what I mean. Click on the keyboard and make it work with the shortcut. Now, another shortcut that is really good to know is how to zoom in and out of this screen. So we're going to hold down for the Mac people, the command, and for the PC people, the control key. And then you're going to go up to where there's a plus and a minus sign. They're up kind of top right by the delete key. And I'm going to click on the plus. And I'm still holding the command control key. And then each time I click on the plus, I'm zooming in and in and in and in and in and in. And keep zooming in. Now I'm going to zoom out by going minus, 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 minus. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in again by getting command plus. And the more I zoom in, I'm going to keep going. There are my pixels. So the pixels are the basic cells of an image. So keep going, go plus, 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 plus. Everyone, if you've seen them, don't do it. But if you do it, then you follow the class with me because I'm going to show you some other tools. Now, when I'm zoomed in so much, I don't see all that area around my image anymore, right? So if I want to go and see another part of this image, maybe in a zoom minus, minus, and I'm seeing this part of the image, but I want to go see another part of the image, that's when that good old hand tool that I showed you before comes in handy. Because I'm going to hold down the hand tool, but instead of going all the way to the hand tool, I'm going to do another shortcut. I'm going to hold down the space bar. And look what happened. My space bar, my tool turned into a hand. You see that? So I'm going to click and drag my way around this image to see different parts of it. So I'm going to command minus a bit more. And I can still do that. But if I command minus to the point that I'm seeing all my image, if I try to move, I'm basically moving the image around at this point. And for some of you guys, it might not move at all. Depending on how your computer is set up, when you try to move, not move, but pan, this tool is called the panning around. By holding on the space bar and clicking and dragging, when you see enough, many times this tool, for some people, doesn't work anymore. It's like, well, you're seeing everything. What do you want to pan around to? So usually you need to be zoomed in onto something to be able to pan around to something. Does that make sense? Now I want to see the sandal. Now I want to see the other side. Now I want to see the top side. Okay, and now zoom all the way in, and these millions of pixels are only one color each, but it's the combination of all these pixels that gives us all the range of tones that we have. We're going to talk a lot more about pixels, but for now, I want to just see my entire image again. So to do that, the shortcut's going to be Command or Control 0. So those of you, including you, Sue, that over here, I see that you're seeing a lot of space around it. Also, Command or Control 0 fills our screen with that image. Okay, you might be seeing a little bit less or a little bit more. Command or Control 0. Sometimes you might have lost your image entirely. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes maybe you did that and you're like, what happened to my image? It's gone. And if you're bright, you might have noticed that a piece of it is over here, but sometimes things just disappear from your screen. Command and Control 0. Don't panic. Things come back in. And as I'm saying that, whoops, hold on. I was not on the right image. Come now. It all pops out in the middle again. Now, what you need to do is, by the way, all these shortcuts that I'm showing you, what is it? I've got another thing being shared here that isn't what I need. I've got an image here sharing that isn't the right. Oh, here we go. I had another little share over there that was not as comfy. Okay, so in the Padlet, and if you guys remember how to get to the Padlet, you have it on your browser or you have the link on the chat. Then I have a shortcuts handout. If you open that, this is what I'm showing you. Command plus to zoom in, Control plus if you're on a PC, Command plus if you're on a Mac, okay? Hold down the command and tap the plus, and that zooms in, zooms out, Command minus, okay? Or Control minus. 100%, I haven't explained that one yet, I'm gonna do that, but Command 1 is 100%. See the entire image, Command 0, okay? Select, deselect, there's a bunch of stuff here that we're gonna be using that's really good to know. And it's in the handouts, but it's also posted here in the Padlet for you guys. If you have a printer at home, that's a good one to print and have next to you while you're working so that you can refer to it until they become second nature to you. All right, if everyone's been able to follow through all these shortcuts and knows where to get the handout and will print it and all is good and dandy, then go ahead and give me a yes. All right. Cool. Back to Photoshop. So that's a lot of the basics of moving around. Now we're going to do little, oh, wow, 7:53. How does time run away with me? All right, I just wanted to show you what it might take to have an image that's not stuck to the background. Because if I grab and move my image right now, if I go into the move and I try to move my image right now, click and drag on it, it's going to say, the currently selected layer is a background layer. You cannot move it. So let's cancel. I was moving things around because I was holding the space bar, right? Or I had the hand tool. But if you're just in the move tool, nothing moves. It's like, what do you mean nothing moves? It's the move tool. Well, the problem is that this layer is locked. Okay? So in order to be able to move the layer, which is different than panning, and we're going to just do that and we're going to be done, you're going to have to unlock this one. Just click on this little lock right there and boom. It's not called background layer anymore. It's now called layer 0. See that? It's called layer 0. And now when you go to your image, if you've just installed Photoshop and you, like this computer, this computer Photoshop just opened up for the first time. And I'm assuming the same thing on Sue's because you just got it for the first time. Then when you're clicking on this layer and you're clicking on this thing, see these handles and boxes that appear over there? This is really negative. Let me show you how to turn this off. Head over here to where it says show transform controls. Turn that off. You don't want those little boxes. And for now, while you're learning with me, I'm also going to have you turn off the auto select. So we're going to uncheck auto select and we're going to uncheck show transform controls. Uncheck those two. We'll talk later about why they were there and if it's good or not, but for now, we're just going to learn without them. And now that they're turned off and that the layer is not a background layer anymore, it says layer 0. Now with my move tool, I can click and drag and I'm actually moving the image, but this time I'm moving it around its own canvas. So this is like what a page would be to some other document or whatever. We call it a canvas. And we have turned this into a layered file, something that, for example, is Photoshop's domain. Lightroom doesn't have layers, for example, so you only work straight on the image. But in Photoshop, you can make layers, and anything that is on the background is air, is nothing. And that little grid pattern of white, checkered white and black, white and gray, that's emptiness. And it's, I'm sorry, it's 7:55. So basically the last thing I'm going to teach you right now. We're going to go ahead and learn more about this. So for now, all I want you to do is to close this and not change anything. We don't care about these changes because once it's a layered file, we can't save it as a JPEG anymore. So when we try to save it, it's going to say, do you want to save? Go ahead and say no. We're going to work on a different image on Wednesday. But I want you all to practice moving around, zooming in, zooming out, everything that we just did. So it says, do you want to save changes? I'm going to say don't save. And how did I get to close it? I either click on this little X right there, or I did Command or Control W, or I went to File Close. But that's the easiest way, is to click on this little X. If you're on a PC, X is on the right side. Click on the little X on the right side. If you're on a Mac, it's on the left side. Click on that. Say don't save to that. And Photoshop is back to being empty. When you go down to Bridge in Photoshop, notice that I'm doing it from, and let me share my entire screen. I have Photoshop and Bridge one on top of the other, and I go to my dock way down here, and I switch from Bridge to Photoshop instead of like moving things around. Let me do that, which is such a useless and way to do things. So go ahead and make sure that you keep all the programs really in there. I'm going to say 1 extra minute with you, Maria, telling you how to close VDI correctly. Okay. But everyone else, unless you have questions, I'm happy to stay and answer questions. We're going to jump into modifying and editing images on Wednesday from exactly 5 p.m. So no coming in later. Like everything we did today was just to get all this stuff taken care of. Wednesday, 5 p.m. Photoshop and Bridge open and ready to run. Okay. Those of you who need to go, please go. Maria, at least please stay for a minute because I need you to share your screen so that I can show you how to back out of BDI safely. Everyone else, I'll see you in a couple days. Bye. Yeah, and let me tell Sue also how to get out of here. All right, so go to Photoshop and quit Photoshop, or do you know the another way that might be easier to do a right click? If you go down to this Photoshop over there, you can right click and then just say quit. And then you can do the same with Bridge. Why is it showing you that? Just say done. What is it? Okay, just gonna quit that one out of the way. All right, so then right click and quit Bridge. But on the other hand, you're the only one using this computer. You can leave them open. And then you can quit out of this one too. So again, either down from here, right click quick, or shortcuts. If you like to use shortcuts, for example, Command Q is also a way to quit out a program. So you might want to just Command Q, right? And then you're done because nothing else is open. So you go to the Apple and you log out. Susan Carter. Okay. And one more log out. All right. Yay. Oh, you're welcome. So nice to see you. Well, let's see what happens with this other person next Wednesday, and then you make your choices. For me, it's the same. And if I know that it's hard for you to follow at home, and I'm here.
Yeah, and so that's why I wanted to come back.
Yeah. So hey, why would one person not be wonderful? It's great.
I forgot a whole lot.
Well, it'll be much easier for me to help you if you're here than if you're at home.
Luckily, you know, I will Google how to do something. Like the other day, I couldn't find the history.
Yeah, there you go. Let me help Maria sign out of, you're welcome. Bye. Right, Maria, are you sharing your screen yet? Nope. Go ahead and share your screen so that I can show you how to back out of all your stuff. All right. So, let me get my little good old pink marker. Okay. So first of all, you're on a PC, so the X to close your file is on the right side of the name. You know how I showed one on the left, so close that.
Okay, let me see.
Oh, wait, what did you do?
Remove this.
Hold on. I don't know what you did, but I don't want that. I want you to click on this again to make it bigger, because otherwise next time it's gonna open bigger. Click on that, yeah. Leave it where it
Okay.
was. Okay, so you're gonna close the bridge by closing that little X. Wait, hold on, let me get rid of all the pink stuff. Over here, this little X here closes your bridge. Do you see it over there, or do you have?
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Okay,
That
this
closes
one.
bridge is a program.
Okay.
You can also close a program by going all the way here, a file, going to file close, or you can go over here and close that. But since you have a file open, I wouldn't close the program yet. I would first close the file. Okay. So I would go in and close this file first before you close the program.
Okay, close
So
here. Okay.
Save changes, say nope.
No changes. Okay.
All right. Now you can go over here and close the program. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Now, the only thing that you need to open and close each time that you get into VDI is going to be your Google Drive. So this, what are you moving things? Don't move anything. You need to go down here and you need to quit this Google Drive. So click on that and then go ahead and open it and go over here to this little, I'm curious, hold on, because I was going to take you there, but there's a pause over here. Can you click on pause and see what it does? It's probably going to pause syncing, but it. Did you click on this? I don't see your mouse.
Let me see. Okay.
I think it's just going to pause thinking. Yeah, pause, which doesn't help. So click on it again to start it again.
Okay.
That doesn't help us. Okay. I just wanted to see because they've changed the one. Okay. So go to the gears. Right next to the pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click on that and then just quit.
Okay,
Why this is important is because if you don't click the Google Drive, next time you come VDI, you're going to open the photos and they're going to all show up saying they're corrupted, they have lines, they're black. So each time you sign in to VDI, you need to pull up and create a new connection to Google Drive. But this
Okay.
time it knows you, so it's not going to go through the 25, 85 times you had to write the whole thing. One time it will ask you. You will have to put one time the pipeline, and then after that it'll let you in, but not like this time that was the first time they had to do everything. Okay, all right.
Okay,
So
all
we're
right.
done with that. Now we need to sign out of VDI. So we're gonna go ahead and hold on. Two things. First, you're gonna close. Go ahead and go to this button, the Windows button first. Actually, no, not. Let's do first that we need to sign out of. Hold on. Close that. Yeah, I said that first. I made a mistake.
Okay,
Go to the Windows down here on the top. Yeah. And hold on. My alarm is okay. Mine quit. Hold on. Control Alt Delete. I'm trying to remember. This is the new. How did you close? How did you close? Oh, here it is. Sorry, it's just that I have my other one. So over here where you see the little power button.
yeah,
Okay, click on the power button and just say shut down. So you're shutting down your VDI computer, okay, not yours.
okay,
Yeah.
right, right.
So it'll say shutting down, you've been disconnected, now say close. Okay, and now we're gonna go up here to this tab. Yep, click on that and log out of VDI. Cool, you sure you wanna log out? Yeah. By doing it out like that, gently, then it's all pretty clear. Next time you come in,
Yeah,
you click, you go in, and we just open Google Drive, and then wait, all our files
okay.
will be up to date, okay?
Oh, all right,
All
okay, thank
And
you.
now you're just ready to turn it all off.
All
And
right, thank you so much.
you're welcome, Maria. I'll
Thank
see
you.
you on Wednesday.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.